This is the One Piece Podcast, episode 881 for the week of Monday, August 18th, 2025. My name is Zach.
And my name is Ed.
And my name is Steve.
And my name is Alex.
Whoa, the whole crew is here. And we also have, I'll get to you in a second, Alex, but we have very special guest translator for One Piece and Weekly Shonen Jump. Stephen Paul is with us. How's it going, Stephen?
It is going good. It's been very busy this month, and I'm drowning in work. But sometimes too much work can be a bad thing. It can be a good thing too.
Suffering from success.
Yeah, that's kind of the one way to put it.
That's how my parents would put that. We also
Wasn't that a DJ Khaled record?
That sounds like something he would do.
We have our One Piece academia expert. You could see her at Anime New York City this coming weekend, I believe is when it is. We have Dr. Gomez with us. How's it going, Doc?
Hi, everyone. So happy to be back here and see all the wonderful faces that make this podcast happen every single week. So just happy and honored to be here one more time.
No, thank you for coming. Alex, welcome to the League of Extraordinary Fatherhood. I can't think of a pun. I'm too tired.
Come on, you didn't even do it in the Sean Connery accent.
Oh yeah,
League of Extraordinary Dads.
That's a silly movie. There's a car chase in Venice.
Sean Connery was an extraordinary
Yes.
dad. He wouldn't even call Indiana, Indiana.
Yeah.
Junior.
Welcome back, Alex. I know you were on once, but I wasn't. It was the one week I wasn't on, which I'm not going to take personally. But how have you been?
Pretty great. I'm on paternity leave part 2. I got a lot of paternity leave and it was pretty awesome. Having a kid rules. It's exhausting, but it's rewarding. And I've never felt such love for a thing. I was going to say a thing. I'm like, for a person or anything. It's pretty great.
When he's listening in 20 years, he'll be,
Yeah.
Dad called me a thing.
Dad almost called me the thing.
We'll see about that.
It's a Dr. Seuss thing, right? Thing 1, thing 2.
Yeah. That or
Yeah.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Yeah.
The ever loving blue-eyed thing. Fantastic Four.
Oh.
But no, it's good to be back. I've been itching to get back on since this crazy flashback has started.
Yeah, what have been your thoughts? So you were on for the one episode where
Yes.
Loki kind of almost joins the crew, maybe.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't remember what else. I just remember by images, so I remember Steve's image for that. But when did you leave? What chapter was the last one you were on before that?
Probably around the time that Killingham set forth his sleep tids.
Well, this is
maybe?
11:57. Chapter
Yeah.
11:57 this week.
So I don't know. I'm not
Before
gonna.
or after the deacidification? I guess before.
It was before. It was before the
Oh, yeah.
deacidification.
That was
of Killingham.
late. That happened
Yeah.
recently.
My thoughts so far are, I think it's rad that we're seeing this stuff, but I think it's kind of lame when you have a flashback of a character and then you weave in like, hey, let's see what Garp's up to for like 2 chapters. Like, I think
What
Harold's
is
in
this,
like,
live action?
yeah, I mean, like, that's pretty good.
This really started with the Odin flashback.
It did, and I think that one worked out pretty okay because Wano as a whole feels sort of different. But Elbaf as a whole, like, when it started anyway, just sort of felt like One Piece again. And now, with this flashback, it's like, okay, I guess I'll use this opportunity to do God Valley and sort
Turning
of
into super crazy no way school.
Yeah. I mean, like, we knew that was going to happen anyway. Just based on stuff we've seen before. Rock's looking like Teach is stupid. I've warmed up to it though. It's fine. But that was. We'll talk about all this stuff in the manga chapter.
Yeah, anyway, I don't mean to. Yeah,
no, One Piece has been a lot of fun. I think it's been like really. it's been fun to read. I've been watching One Piece with my son occasionally.
Aw.
I don't think he.
What's he think of it?
He's
It's
just
loud.
like, yeah, he's just like, oh, it's cool, it's fun.
You got to
He
start
loved
them young.
Oh, yeah.
Bright colors.
Who's his favorite Straw Hat?
Kuma.
Who's his favorite non-Straw Hat?
Kizaru, I guess.
Does he have a favorite opening?
Yeah, it's the new one.
Ugh.
The new one, aka the old one to him.
Yeah. His hot take is that Sakuga is ruining One Piece. That's actually my hot take that I whispered into his ear.
Whitney was right. Children are the future.
Today we're going to go through
yeah.
chapter 1157, right? Or 11. Yeah, that's what it is. And the title of that chapter will be Legendary Bar.
Legendary daycare.
Well, we'll get there.
We'll
Okay, I'll save my lame joke for another time. And we also have Piece Together, and I believe we have another double anime recap with Sam, maybe, on this episode. We'll see. But before we get into that, please subscribe to us on patreon.com/One Piece Podcast. Steve, we're giving away stickers if you're part of our Sticker of the Month crew at $12 a month. Last month, we gave away the one I was actually just talking about, the one for the episode that Alex was on with Loki and the floating next to the
In a
Thousand
sidecar.
Yeah. What's
correct.
happening this month?
It's so funny with stuff going on for me. I haven't checked. Oh, okay. Our the Triforks image of Dorian Broggie, that won our fan poll, so that will be the next sticker that you in the $12 tier will be getting in the mail.
So if you
and if you really want that sticker, just make sure
Yes.
you're signed up.
Use the
before
forks, Steve.
Stickers.
The Triforks. Just make sure you sign up before the end of August so that you ensure that you receive that sticker.
Yeah. So if you want it, sign up within the next few weeks, or if you're listening to this in the future, I'm sorry.
But I'm a real tightwad. Can I afford this remarkable system?
I'm trying to...
Can't afford not to.
With our tiers, charging just an extra $2 for a sticker, you would have thought I suffered brain damage.
You're fully bonded and licensed by the Patreon, right? Okay, we're done with that.
Shut up, boy.
Should have said Shoaisha.
Shueisha. Well, actually, I don't want to get too real here. So you can check that all out at patreon.com/One Piece Podcast, or we also have our extended cuts, including way more Simpsons references that go nowhere for 20 minutes, alternate images, alternate titles, and a lot more. All that available for $5.
You can listen to
a
us
month.
tie an onion to our belt, which was the style at the time.
You see, stuff like that. You can't get that anywhere else except here right now.
Nobody wants to listen to those episodes.
Anyway, why don't we get into the manga right after this? This is the manga recap for chapter 1157, Legendary Bar. You can read this chapter and all chapters as soon as they come out at shonenjump.viz.com, mangaplus.shueisha.co.jp. So what's going on here, Ed?
Actually, I want to talk about the author comment this week first.
Oh, yeah.
It came out earlier than it did last week, but he says, Oda says, lately, during color work, I watched the Otoka wa Tsurayo show. As the main character says, you shouldn't say that. And then it's transliterated into English as Soryoicha Oshimayo.
Translation.
Where's the Joey signal?
Yeah.
Yes.
Da-na-na-na-na.
Yeah.
This is how he came up with Vice Admiral Chaton, or Vice Admiral Chaton.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes. Chaton
he's-
is based off the guy.
Off of
Kiyoshi
Tora-san.
Atsumi.
Yes.
Kiyoshi Atsumi is the
Yes.
actor's name. Yes.
Mhm.
But yeah, when it says show, I mean, apparently there was a TV show, but it's also a film series.
I Yeah, I think it may have been like series, and then they just translated it to show because they didn't realize that it was, I mean, you would be forgiven for being confused because there's like 50 movies, so you look at
unless you've
50
listened to this
episodes.
podcast and you listen to Joey talk about it because
or the podcast that Joey and I used to do.
Yes.
That's right.
It's a great movie series. It's really funny. It's pretty formulaic, but it's got a lot of heart to it. He's a very funny character. Yeah.
And check out our podcast series, Toho Yaro, if you haven't. It's still available wherever you get your
It's
podcasts.
Still there.
Ed, what's going on this edition of the cover story?
Yes, it's Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage, Volume 39. And they're at a memorial here, and it says, he fought against Kaido to protect his village, but he perished without leaving a body behind. And as I said a few weeks back, there's pieces of him all over. This is Ashura Doji, whatever his other name was.
We actually have no idea who this is. It can't be Ashura Doji, though.
I don't think it's Ashura, unless there's new facts that have come to light, because last time they said it was the hero who was born in West Blue and raised in Ringo. I don't think we know that about
they did.
Ashura Doji.
And to be fair, it's been like 3 weeks since that cover story at least, or 4.
It's been like a month and a half. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's been a while.
Yeah, and also Ashura Doji never fought Kaido directly, as far as we know. Well, as far as we know,
he just blew up good.
He did.
I feel like whoever's grave this is someone who's certainly alive.
What if it's I mean, by the looks of it, looks like Vice Admiral Strawberry.
But yeah,
Wow.
so
Thanks,
Yamato,
Alex.
Hiyori, and Kiku are here paying respects in the snow.
Oh, and Ulti and I guess that's page 1 are building a giant Kaido ass-looking snowman that at first I didn't see them in the background, and I'm like, oh, if Ashura Doji, if this is Ashura Doji's
so
grave,
tiny.
I didn't see
it
them
would
in the
be
background.
super funny if like he popped out of the thing, was like, hey, it's me, Ashura Doji, I'm alive.
Oh, like maybe his spirit inhabits the body of the snowman.
Oh my
Or,
god, Ashura the Snowman.
like that Jack Frost with who was that? Who was in that? Michael Keaton.
No.
Michael Keaton.
He beat Jack. Wait, no, did he?
No. There's like several different Jack Frosts. The one with Michael
there's-
Keaton,
And then there's a B movie
possesses
one
him.
where he gets killed by a banana.
I was making a pun
Yeah.
off of the character Jack and Jack Frost.
Yeah, there's a Jack
is in
Frost
there.
horror movie that's like a slasher with a killer snowman.
Let's
He kills
rein
with a
this
carrot.
back.
That one had like a one of those hologram VHS covers where like violent teeth would appear on the middle of the snowman's face.
Lenticular.
Yes.
Okay, I've
Sweet.
lost control of this podcast in record time. Stephen, were you going to say something about the snowman?
No, I was just going to say, like, I didn't see the Ultian page. I thought the snowman was like the size of like Yamato,
Me too.
just because of the perspective. But now I see that it is actually much further away than I realized.
It's definitely a Kaido-ass snowman with the mustache and horns.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
they're going to destroy it.
That's pretty unmistakable.
I wonder if it's this major metallic guy that showed up last chapter.
I did want to note, and I'm going
Kyo.
to try and find the
Kyo.
credit. I'm going to try and find the credit where it's due. But an
Wasn't
artist-
Major Metallic a member of the Red Ribbon Army?
Yes.
Of course.
I was gonna say, Steve, thank you for not saying Major Metallotron.
Come on. Hey, it's me.
we'll get. Oh my god, thank you, Harrison. So I did want to note, an artist drew Ulti in page 1 making the snowman, and someone saying, "Dude, it's a graveyard. Why are you making a snowman here?" I need to give credit where that's due.
They want a spirit to possess a snowman.
Now we have a clear answer. Thank you, everyone. This is why we come together here every week. Any other thoughts on this scene?
And you have a Merry Christmas too, Yamato.
Well,
I think it'd be funny if like Ashura Doji did pop out, they'd be like, "But you're dead," and he's like, "Oh, well, I'm his twin brother, and you can just call me Ashura Doji," and he puts on like a big cowboy hat, and they call him Ashura Doji too.
Ashura
We already did that, and his name is Sabo.
They should have called
Landfill,
him
too.
Sace. No, that doesn't work. let's please continue into the chapter. Alex, it's all you.
Oh, sweet. Gave me a lot.
I did.
So here we are at Embezzle International Charity Sanctuary.
Three
All-timer
Stooges
opening.
ass company name here.
Yeah, let's.
What was this in Japanese, Stephen?
Do you want me to do it
immediately-
now, or should we go through the scene first?
No, we're already dwelling on this. We might as well
Oh,
just
okay.
It's
go-
literally the first
It's
thing.
the first thing.
Okay. So this is in classic Oda fashion. It is a place with a very punny name in Japanese. And so it was originally called I guess you would probably translate it to Foot Colony. So like it's one of those things where you have to kind of like change the emphasis. You put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. Sort of thing, and if you reorganize or like re-stress the syllables, so it goes, instead of foot colony, so in Japanese, futokoroni, 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 and you just like take the letters themselves, it becomes, futokoro means like pocket or wallet, and ni becomes into. So it's basically like pocketing the money or stashing the money.
Count the money.
Yeah, and so I was I workshopped this for a while until I got something that I liked. What I really wanted to do was to like in my ideal scenario, my ideal outcome would have been to have it like go kind of overlap the like the title of the place or the name of it. So like I was working with convent as instead of like temple or church or whatever. I was working with convent, which now you think of nuns, but in the past, a convent could be any kind of like an abbey or a monastery or a friary. Those are all convents. So that I could do something like the long convent or something like that. But it wasn't quite working out. I had another working title, which was like Saint Frauds, spelled FROD''S. And then eventually I settled on Embezzle. And then I also chose, although I don't know if anyone necessarily drew these lines together since it's very subtle. I picked Sanctuary for the name because the original thing was like International Charity Affiliation, temple or something like that, church. And I chose the word sanctuary because sanctuary it does mean holy place, as in like sanctum, sanctuary. But it also has a double meaning, of course, of like a safe haven,
A tax haven.
sort of like a tax haven or an animal sanctuary. Like you put the animals there to keep them safe and out of harm's way. And so, what is a charity sanctuary? You take all the charity and you put it safely away where no one can get to it. So that was a little like sort of subtle hidden joke there that I
compared it on the Discord to the law firm of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe.
Yes, I was definitely thinking of that, classic jokes. That's kind of what I was going for when I came up with Embezzle.
Yeah, pretty great.
Now we can start the chapter.
Yes.
Yeah, love it. So here we are at I like the long convent. That's pretty good. At this international charity sanctuary, and you hear Yahoo! And there's a lot of commotion going on. And you hear, there, that's everything from the vault. They had a fortune in here. And here's Wang Ji, Kaido's, not Kaido, I'm sorry, Caribou's probable grandfather.
Well, based on the chins, he could be related to Red King.
Hey, maybe they're both related.
Look, I've heard of never mind.
But this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And he's got the bad hair.
Look, you
Yeah.
can be related to people by hair color, but you can't be related to people by chin.
By chin.
That's
yeah.
ridiculous.
No, of
Come
course not.
on, absurd.
Stay tuned for my my video essay on why Ivankov and Frankie are related. Wang Ji says, "Good job, we've got the goods. Time to pull out, folks." And we see the patron of the sanctuary saying, "No, wait, that money was all donated for the sake of hungry children." And Big Mom is just totally running like stampeding through this place.
Power
And she goes,
walking.
liar. Yeah,
This is Big Mom in her hot MILF phase.
that's right. Liar! Why is it collecting dust in your vault then? And somebody's saying, "Hey, Wang Ji, hey." And in the background we see Marlon Brando, or Don Krieg's daddy, or whatever we're calling him.
Don Krieg, that's who we're going with there?
Greg mentioned
They're from
something in
the
like a
Don
Twitter
family.
post. Yeah, the Don family, the Don family.
I don't know.
Greg made a Twitter post. I'll have to dig it up
Okay.
later during Piece Together because it's super, super interesting.
I don't want Don Krieg to have any more history than he has already.
And Catfish Man, what's his name?
Barbell, right? That was it.
Barbell
Yeah.
Carruthers?
Carruthers. What?
Never mind. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry, this is taking way too long. Anyway, they're stampeding through and laying waste to all these monks, and we hear on the baby snail, lower the lift one more time. We're still down in the. And Wang Ji just hangs up and goes, ugh, so much whining. Hey, Shiki. And Shiki goes, oh, right, I forgot about them. And we see an open pit right behind him. He goes, so long, suckers. Tosses a comically large round bomb with a fuse down into the pit, where
And it falls with a toss.
yeah. We see Kaido and Edward Newgate and Kyo down in the pit there, and
Adam West just out of frame.
yeah,
He's going to catch the bomb.
some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
No.
There's a giant explosion. It appears that Oda ran out of time here because instead of screen tones, he sort of shades it, which is it looks fine.
Previous panel, too. Yeah.
Yeah. And Shiki, in comical Wile E. Coyote fashion, sticks his fingers in his ear, says, "Gee ha ha ha! More for the rest of us." And
By the way, I saw someone
Wang
post
Ji calls them fools.
Shiki appears in the recent dub episodes because they're like caught up with the God Valley stuff going on. And people just shocked, not realizing Shiki's dub voice.
Isn't
Scott
it?
McNeil.
Scott McNeil, yes. Piccolo.
Yeah.
Did he come back for those episodes?
I think he did, right? No?
Yeah, I haven't caught up. I
listened,
watched
it sounded.
but
I'm not Steve.
Oh,
It is.
dope.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So anyway, we see this guy, this patron of the sanctuary, and he goes, "Curses! They know about the grifter running." And he's asking where the soldiers are.
I definitely
They're almost here.
shouldn't have said that.
Yeah,
I was thinking the same thing, Ed. Oh, it's too hot today.
Yeah. It's so funny. Like in this instance, the Rocks pirates just look like they're doing good by accident. They say, "Oh, make sure they don't escape. Yes, Your Holiness. Close the temple gates." And Stussy, or I guess Miss Buckin in this case, gets stopped by iron bars. We know they're iron bars because she eeks. Big Mom says, "Are they trying to lock us in here? Out of the way, Buckin. I'll smash them open." And we hear something in the background. We hear a zoom. And Big Mom wonders what's up with that. And if you turn the page, we find out what is up with that.
just want to interject before we find out what's up with that.
Go.
Someone did upload a clip of Shiki in the latest dub batch. That is not Scott McNeil.
Okay. I didn't know if it was Scott
Sound
McNeil,
alike.
but they are doing the same.
I
Doing
can't
the
just
same
like
accent. Yeah.
That's
zoom
good
him in
character
and
work.
pay him. Scott McNeil needs more work. I like that guy. Like that guy a lot. Anyways, here's what's up with that. It's a sea quake, very similar to the one that we saw Blackbeard do actually,
And
at
Marineford.
the end of at the end of Marineford. Yeah,
No, I remember these specifically because I loved Oda's take on the earthquake at sea and how it looked and how the
Yeah.
power looked.
The island is rocking like a bowl in the dishwater.
Yeah, a bowl inside of another larger bowl inside of another larger bowl.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a cool. I really always
Yeah.
liked this effect in particular. It was probably one of my favorite scene like things in Marineford. I don't know how to put that
Yeah.
setting.
A visual?
Visual.
Yeah.
That's the word. Thank you.
yeah, it is very cool. And we hear like a din of folks screaming and buildings crumbling, and we hear, "What is the ground sinking? No, it's an earthquake. He's doing this." And as we see the Rocks pirates just sort of fall into the abyss, Big Mom curses Newgate, and we see Barbell and Wang Ji fall as well. Let's see, who do we have here? Don Marlin. We've got Struzen. We've got Stussy. We got big dude that I forget his name.
This panel also not fully done.
Yeah.
Looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's just screen tones. That's fine.
It's a little confusing to read.
Oh, I guess. And in the rubble, we see Kaido, Newgate, and Kyo. Kaido says, "I'm jealous. Wish I had one of those." And Newgate says, "What, a fruit power? Take your time and choose wisely. It'll be with you for life."
Like herpes.
Kaido says. The herp fruit. Yeah, that's a good
it's a
point,
choice.
says Kaido. And Kyo's pissed off. He goes, "Hey, who tried to bury me alive down there?" And we see Shiki just sort of floating in midair as he's wont to do. And this is a funny panel. Wang Ji just sort of just points at him. Like, this guy.
And he's floating in midair. Like, the thing is, if you didn't watch Strong World, you have no
Oh yeah.
context of why he's in the middle of the air or what's happening in this panel.
It's mentioned in
Yeah.
Impel Down, isn't it? The flying pirate.
If
Gold Line
you
Yeah.
if you do remember that one specific
Yeah.
panel from literally 16 years ago, that you
700
find.
chapters ago.
Yeah. It's the first year we were podcasting. That's to give you context. Yeah.
Yeah. Kyo says, "It was you, Shiki." Shiki says, "Oh, wife, it isn't my good friend Kyo. Thank goodness you're alive. I was so worried."
A good one.
And Rox is pissed off. He says, "What kind of stupid games are you playing over there? Get out the lead, people." And "I'll kill you." They're just sort of looks like Kyo and Shiki are sort of beating up each other in the background there, and Rox says, "That treasure better be safe."
Yes,
Here,
they're
oh.
in a blur of limbs and dust rolling around.
Yes. It's pretty funny that they just don't get along. Captain John says, "Hey, Rox, look at the sea around us." Or I guess who will eventually be Captain John.
I do
want regular John now.
John.
That's regular. Yeah. I do want to say Wang Ji's that's Wang Ji, right? In the middle there
Yeah.
in that panel. That his arm just reminds me of Croc's hook constantly when I see it. Maybe that's where it came from.
No, that's Ganzui.
Okay, it is
the
Ganzui.
weird.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wang
giant
Shui
looking
is
guy.
the pointing
Oh.
guy who's
No,
Yes.
Ganzui is the big dude.
That's
who
what I was
thought
talking about. Yeah.
I was like Atomos for a while, like the guy from
Oh,
That's right.
Well, that's his
Right.
dad.
Wasn't Atmos the guy with the He-Man haircut?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
Oh no. With the He-Man.
that's-
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I don't
that's,
remember his name, and
Curiel?
it's not important.
No,
That's my
Curiel
one
has the
blind
bucket
spot.
hat.
I do
Helmet.
not
Kyriel's got the-
remember.
Curiel has the bucket hat.
Well, today our
He-Man
trivia.
guy, He-Man guy, I believe is King Do.
I never
Anyway.
learned all the Whitebeard pirates' names.
Yeah, I
Nope.
do not remember.
Well,
Anyway.
that's
Well, then-
why, and that's why we
well,
all
then
fail.
I'm just
Um,
a huge stupid nerd.
No, you're not a
uh,
huge. Ed. What's
Anyway,
on the
next
Bonnie
page?
Joe
page.
on speed dial.
Sure. But as all this is going on, we hear, "It's the Navy. We're surrounded. Wah ha 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 ha. Looks like we got trouble. Hey, no time for fighting amongst ourselves back there. We gotta hit the waves." And then, I guess this is Newgate saying, "It's the Navy. It's too soon. Were they tipped off? Belay that. Don't hit the waves. Hit the enemy." Rox yells, "Sink 'em all and take their loot."
Aura panel.
Yes. And then you get Oda Boxes narrating said, "Within just 2 years of their founding, The Rocks pirates were responsible for 16 recorded raids, 76 sunken ships, 14 ports burned to the ground, 5 towns leveled, 1 kingdom brought to ruin, 3 special violations of Article 18 of World Law, as opposed to regular violations,
I was gonna say also.
and 25 crimes that were completely covered up.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Yeah. Though the future king of the pirates, Gold Roger, also sailed the seas at this time, these few years of frenetic activity might as well be known as the era of rocks.
I do this podcast to get away from legalisms, but I'll take 3 special violations of Article
What's
18.
Article 18?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I would.
Whoever is starting the legal textbooks for the world government records, please contact me. Stephen.
I love it. I love it whenever Oda does one of his like list of improbable feats where it's just piling numbers on top of numbers. It's always fun when he.
Were you taking notes, Stephen? Because you have to carry the one. You can't forget to do that.
I think my favorite thing about that list is the 25 crimes that were completely covered up, because you can directly compare it to how many of Luffy's crimes were covered up, which I think is 1, maybe 2.
Oh, did you say that at some point?
Well, we know Alabasta at the very least.
Okay, yeah.
Probably others too. I'm sure others.
Sure.
Dressrosa, was that like? I don't know if people actually knew what happened there.
Oh yeah, Dressrosa is basically Alabasta 3.0 or whatever. So
yeah,
I'm sure. Yeah, that got covered up.
0.65 or something.
Alabasta squared.
A square root of Alabasta. Anyway, I do want to note though that we don't really know anything about Rox's power other than he cuts things, and he cuts things good. But I do like the kind of vortexy look we get in that last panel. And I am assuming that's a hint of some sort. We had 2 Inishi, which isn't that the name of the cat that Kuwabara has in Yu Yu Hakusho, Steve? Or am I? That's an Ikichi. Yeah, okay. Close. But much like that cat, we have a lot of sympathy for these folks because this was the same island, I assume, since we see later that Harold previously visited. And here we have Harold's giant ship. What is on that masthead? Just something. And at least 1 or 2 marine or government ships there saying, what do you want, Harold? Get lost. Unaffiliated countries are a lawless land in our eyes. People who live in them have no rights. Wow. And Harold.
How about that?
And Harold looking with righteous indignation, saying, but it's not proper. The world government doesn't make all the rules of the world. Oh. But wait, what about special violations of Article 18? Who do you think wrote those rules? Anyway, sorry.
Maybe Article 18 of World Law is like tax code. Like he just didn't submit his taxes 3 times.
It's how they got Capone. It's the golden rule. Whoever has the gold makes the rules.
What are the chances that an SBS question addresses that and it's something really stupid like that? I hope that does happen, actually.
Yeah, it's Rico.
It's
eventually eventually Geraldo Rivera is going to look for Rox's legendary treasure.
Yes.
And it's nothing.
Nothing in Rox's
maps.
But it wasn't Geraldo's fault.
No, it was. Let those people go. When Elbaf was suffering from famine, they're the ones who brought us food and asked for nothing in return. They're our friends and saviors. Help us, King Harold. Yeah, help us. Help us, I can't talk right now. Anyway.
Save us. Help us. Help us.
The Simpsons references are really racking up quick this week. And Harold said, now is the time that we repay the debt that we owe them. I am not backing down. Is this guy supposed to look like someone? This is like such a unique design.
It's pretty creepy.
But we don't get a name, right?
He's got a weird looking chin.
He's got a weird He's got a very
Eyes are creepy.
pronounced looking face. Yeah,
He looks like a character from 20th Century Boys.
Yeah, he's sort of like an Agent Smith, sort of a dude.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's just supposed to be a John Nobody here.
Yeah, government mook. Okay, so the mook talks. Listen, Harold, if you want to bring that up, Elbaf is still only a hopeful future member of the government. If you aid us, it might benefit you. You know what I mean? And by that, I mean I'll continue talking. But if you protect an unaffiliated nation, it will only decrease your chances of talking. This guy seems really reasonable, and I'm sure he's not. Oh shit! He just shot that woman. And says, "Now clear the way. This'll calm you down." And yes, he shoots the hostage in the back. Out of nowhere for no particular reason, I guess. I don't know why he would have thought that was a good idea. Anyway, none of these prisoners are people to us. He's probably in Cypherpole. This sounds Cypherpole-y. But as you said, who cares? Because here comes... I'm just going to say, this is not an example of good negotiation on
No?
the part of this guy.
No? Yeah, you better listen to me, or else, oops, I already shot the person.
We have 10 hostages, and to show you that we're serious, we now have 9 hostages.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, King
I
Harold...
won't kill this one, though. I'll just hurt her.
Okay, here
And
comes...
you, Mr. Big Man, you better not jump on my ship.
Better not use that sword.
Yeah.
Cleave it in two.
You better not squash me like a bug. No,
So
what are you
here-
doing?
Okay.
Get back. Get back. No.
Dramatization may not have happened.
May not have happened.
King Harold comes in. Oh my god, the Simpsons references this week. With his sword, ready to cleft that Marine and his entire ship in twain. By the way, that's where the hostages are. I just want to mention that. Saying, and then we get a quote from the World Economic Journal, which I know we're all subscribed to. Not to be confused with WSJ. King Harold of Elbaf shows his true stripes after feigning allegiance to the government. He sinks an innocent warship.
Innocent.
Innocent warship.
I really loved. That was my favorite bit of like wordplay.
That
in
is-
this, yeah.
That's like a
All warships are
Orwellian.
bastards.
Okay, AWAB. That okay.
A cute, innocent whittle battleship.
Yeah, look at the little battleship.
Oh,
Oh, it's so
shit.
cute. Oh, it's just
Aw.
trying to murder people.
They were this
Look
close
at
to
it.
fighting in their first war.
Oh, they were this close to retirement. Is probably that ship was one day from retirement. And we head back to Ida's bar. I did like when Ed said it's like, oh, that kind of sounds like the stereotypical evil laugh, like, whoa. I told you that. I don't know what voice Vox is. I think Alex did a good job. I have no idea. I told you that's what the government does. Come on, Harold, let's share drinks at the castle. Harold responds, nonsense. I'm not allowing a man of such infamy into my country. And
He's
Vox-
inviting himself to the castle.
Yeah, he is. That's totally how you get. To be fair, Rox is doing a way better job negotiating than that other schmuck. Join me, Harold. You and your whole country. Stop being stubborn. Just give up. I can't stand to see you bowing and scraping to the government anymore. Steven, do we see that?
Well, we see something else. That Harold has shaved his head now, and so all he has is the horns sticking out. And he says, "Mark my words, Elbaf will be part of the world government one day."
Steve,
And,
it's your new cosplay.
You just need a little doll of Rox to.
Give me a
when they
round.
come
your
out with
arm.
when they come out with the figures, Steve, you could totally just dress
Yeah.
as Harold and do that.
I like it.
And you just need some mustache wax and
Yeah.
grow your beard
And
out.
horns.
Yeah. Yes, we can see that Harold is sitting at the bar counter here, and Rox is just sitting on top of it with some empty little mini flagons. And Rox is teasing him. You think shaving your head will make them see your contrition? What kind of culture did you get that from? Which I think here is as a little bit of self-effacing, kind of poking fun at Japanese culture, because that's where the concept of shaving your head to show that you're
Harold
sorry
cut his top knot.
is gone. Yeah, pretty much. And so that's the kind of Oda poking fun at the way other people would see that. And Harold says, "Yeah, Garp laughed at me too. Garp, you know how much he hates the brass he works for, and he should just be a pirate already." But Harold sticks up for the Navy as a whole. He says, "It's an organization. Some are miscreants, but as a whole, the Navy works hard to save lives on a daily basis. They've even begun to accept a number of recruits from Elbaf, starting with John Giant." And we see a little picture of the aforementioned John Giant. He says, "If only I could send more of our overly powerful warriors, I know their strength would go a long way toward helping the downtrodden."
He really looks like just some guy there, John Giant.
Yeah.
He can't look
not-
less like an actual
well,
Like a
giant.
giant. Yeah.
Well,
It's
on
just a name.
Elbaf, he was just known as John.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's got like a mullet here under the hat, I think.
What was
There's
the mistype or whatever, the John
Jun Giant.
Jun Giant? Yeah.
June
Yeah.
Giant.
That was his
Th-
birthday.
John
guy-
Giant
Jingleheimer
Jingleheimer
Schmidt.
Schmidt.
Right, that was
Yeah,
it.
there you go, Ed.
We did that.
there's a dude in the background towards like the bottom left of that panel
Mm-hmm.
who looks a lot like one of Whitebeard's guys.
Namor?
No,
I think
that
that's
guy-
his name.
The fishman
No,
guy.
this guy
yes.
was at
Namul.
He was at
Namul.
Marineford.
Yes.
He was
Yeah,
one of
Namul,
Something like that.
Namule.
Something
Why
like
do I
that.
remember that? Oh, get that out of my head.
Yeah, he's got the
Just one flag
underbite. And so Rox replies, "That sounds like the last thing I want to face out there." And then he he does the thing. He beseeches the better half. He says, "Come on, Ida, talk him out of this." And she's like, "Oh, you're talking to me?" And she says, "Well, if Harold were my son, I think I'd say choose better friends." And he's like, "Hey, that's not funny." As he's yucking it up. And we see what looks like outside, because they're sitting on grass. We see Loki and Mato, the current proprietor of the bar in the present day, and Hyrudin. And they also have little flagons. I'm not sure if they're drinking or what, but
Child size, yes. That's
Yeah.
yeah. This is where you take care of children in One Piece. They hang out in bars,
Yeah, the bar. Yeah.
like Luffy did.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yes.
disappointed these flagons don't have the colorful plastic top with the plastic bendy straw. in them.
I
Yeah,
need
the
to start
little
taking
lid.
my kid to some bars. I think that's
Okay, Alex. Just bring you in
and then-
slightly.
And then we transition to Navy HQ. And though we don't see him in this panel, this is Kong is talking to some other figures that we know. Kong says, "All a giant has to do is roll over in his sleep and he'll crush the humans sleeping next to him. If they get angry and lose control, it could be life-threatening. How are we supposed to coexist with something like that?" That's what the higher-up said. And then what we find out is Garp is arguing, "So, speak for yourself." And he's like, "Oof, like, ooh, you got me there." And so yeah, they're all sitting around eating and drinking tea and whatnot, and just arguing over the Navy's strategy and such. As Garp says, "Isn't that a good thing for the Navy to have, though?" As we get a whole bunch of introduction little Oda boxes here. Navy Vice Admiral Garp, who is Luffy's grandfather. And then next we have Navy Vice Admiral Sengoku, future Fleet Admiral, who says, "Harold's an honest, well-meaning man. He wants to change Elbaf's history." We also have Navy Vice Admiral Otsuru, the future Great Advisor, looking much younger here. And she says, "Rumor says that Rox has been trying to win him over. If he joins their crew, even the Navy might not be able to stop them."
It's a little
And
disappointed
last-
that for Otsuru it doesn't say Kujaku's grandmother, right?
Yeah, I mean, they talk about all the family stuff so often. You'd half expect it. And last we have a Navy Admiral. So he's one of their, presumably the three admirals of the time. I don't know if they actually stick to that.
Well, who are the other two admirals?
hierarchy. Right.
Gojira and Ghidra?
or maybe
Ooh.
Diddy and Dixie
Oh.
or
Wow.
Donkey. Or, I don't know.
Kong, future commander-in-chief, and he says, yeah, I know, but still, I'm trapped between a rock and a hard place. And he continues, the problem is, historically speaking, they've been a vicious people. And Garp argues, yeah, that's why I want them on our side, Kong. Just bring Elbaf into the world government. And he's like, you think that's up to me? I wish. As the other two just kind of look on as the argument continues. So, yeah, interesting look at their, competing philosophies here. It's a good bit of characterization.
And we've seen Suru this age at least once, right?
I think Film Z was the first time, or at least the big
the
Film
Doflamingo
Z
flashback
color
was
spread.
She was already older. I'm trying to remember now.
No, she was about that age, I think.
So because it was the Bad Biddies, I remember it was.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But her first appearance, I believe, is that color spread.
The
big one.
the triple spread.
Yeah.
That has all the young
extra
Navy
wide with
people.
who trained with Zephyr.
Have we
Yeah,
seen much
very
of
cool.
Sengoku at this age, though? I feel like that's
I've seen a few
newer.
things.
Yeah.
He always had good hair.
They all have good hair. All of them. Steve. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then another jump in time, full ed, 42 years ago. And someone says, hey, did you see this? It's a scandal. The papers are saying that Shakuyaku's not the captain of the Kuja Pirates anymore. And we see a paper here. It says, Kuja Pirates captain, something, Shakuyaku. And get her glamour shot here. And someone says, oh, what? And does that mean that our chances of running across her at sea are basically zero now? And just everyone's panicking. Everyone's these men are falling to their knees.
We're all gonna die!
Just gripping their heads, saying this is devastating. Someone's like, I only wanted to be a pirate because I dreamed of being boarded by Shakuyaku.
Is that what they're calling it these days? Don't we all dream of being boarded by her?
What does that? Okay.
All of these, if they didn't already live on the island that is Horny Jail, they need to all go to Horny Jail.
The answer.
They're all posers.
Answers
That's
itself.
the only reason why they set out for sea.
These guys are really they're all really into peg legs.
Oh.
I hate all of you. Why do I do this?
But we go to I guess inside of the Rocks Pirates lair, and we have Goriosa here. Goriosa is now part of the crew. We don't really get any context on that though. But she's
Reclining in her
Goriosa's
snake chair.
or it looks like a beanbag chair.
Yeah, and she just has her little snake from that we've
Yeah.
seen before.
From
Yeah.
the Jungle Book.
Also,
But-
pirates only sit in beanbag chairs. We've known that for a very long time. Since like Doflamingo and Punk Hazard.
I mean, if I were Oda, I would do beanbag chairs too. Regular
Yeah.
chairs are stupid to draw.
Yeah, and hard to draw. But Goriosa is reading the paper, and she's like, "What does Shaki think she's doing?" And we have, I was gonna say her later name, but we have Charlotte here, who's starting to live up to her future moniker of Big Mom, because she's knocking back a bottle here, and she's surrounded by some familiar looking children here.
They're so funny looking.
They look like freaking Peanuts characters.
They do like Daifuku over there.
Yeah.
Like
All of
is
them.
fucking cracking me up.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
And Katakuri looks like a Labubu.
Yes.
Why
yes,
would
he
you do
does.
this to us?
Well, I think that's just by virtue of his big old teeth.
Yes, that's the
But they
thing.
just-
Yeah.
Mhm.
They just
And
look
he's
so.
he's very lanky. The
silly.
other ones are kind of round.
Oh,
No,
But we
those
see
things are
Daifuku,
like
Oven,
that.
and Katakuri the triplets.
Yes, these are the triplets.
where's Parasparrow?
Parasparrow,
And
Offs-
why is he alive?
Don't
He's probably in
speak
a
his name.
bar.
With his dad,
Yeah.
Strusen. Maybe.
That was my theory.
No, I don't want to think about that.
Hmm.
But Big Mom says, didn't she quit because she wanted to chase after a man, just like
Oh,
you
my.
did, Goriosa? Even the island of women can't defeat love, it seems. And Goryo says, I don't expect you to understand the agony of true love with the way you crank out babies like popcorn. Oh!
That's a hilarious line.
Thick burn.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So Oda did say like it was like
they start fighting like it's an episode of Jerry Springer.
Oda did say that she gives birth like popcorn. And I had to like think for a minute because my first inclination was to like, oh, you're popping them out, but popping them out like popcorn is a little redundant. So I went up with crank out babies instead. But
pretty great.
Yeah.
What
Quite
an
brutal.
image. Yeah.
And at this point, she's only had like what, 4?
So
You can
Katakuri.
assume.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I thought Katakuri
mean,
was the
it
second son.
Well, depending on how old
Second
these guys
son,
are.
but
Yeah.
Yeah, but
It
he's a
I'll look
triplet.
it up.
does make me wonder because I've always, I'm sure other people have too, but I've always been skeptical that Big Mom is conceiving naturally. Like maybe there's something about the soul powers that enable her to have babies, like some of that. And so now I'm just thinking of like Gremlins
popcorn.
or something. Yeah, like Gremlins, like she, like they just start
Oh,
to
she gave
bubble
him
up
water?
on her back and then pop off.
Ugh.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
She like fed them after midnight
Yeah.
or something.
And
But-
you
yeah,
must
but
be
for
the
her-
mom that didn't know if it was a pimple or a boil. It was a katakuri.
So Oven is the 5th child, if you count triplets, in order. It's Perospero, Compote, the one everyone
Compote,
remembers.
all right.
Katakuri,
Yes, the eldest daughter.
Katakuri, Daifuku, and Oven. Next up, Monde, I don't know, it's too easy. Charlotte Amand, and then a bunch of others that you probably don't remember, including
Oh,
Opera.
Amand was the main Kokaji
Cadenza.
one, right?
That's
Mhm.
right.
Yeah, with the cool hat.
That was one of the cool ones.
And the
skipping
swords.
I'm skipping the ones that were merely sketches in SBSs.
Yeah.
But Brule is still a way off, so can't wait there. Steve, yeah. We don't have to talk about that forever.
Goryo arrests her chin in her hand. She says, I find it hard to believe that she's got love sickness, though. She says, if it's with Roger, I'll never forgive her. And we have, God, I almost keep calling her Stussy, but this is
Buckin.
Buckin, yeah.
Miss
Which
Bucket
is-
Hat.
I mean, they're the same person, kind of. Yeah. I mean, clones.
Are they?
I mean,
It's not
I don't
quite
know.
a bucket hat, but it's close.
She's
Cool.
Miss Buckethead. She's gonna pull out a guitar and start doing some solos.
And Buckin says, everyone's saying Shocky this, Shocky that, Shocky, Shocky, Shocky. But then she turns to Newgate and says, but you've never had eyes for anyone but me, right, Newgate? And Newgate, not even looking up from
I'm
polishing
gay.
his weapon, says, I like men. And she attacks Whitebeard here and says, what? But it's me, Miss Buckin. I could have any man in the world. And so Newgate says, so what's your problem? She's like, my problem is I want you. And someone says, look out, people. We've got big news. And the
Stop
the
all this
Kuja
fussing.
ship, the Kuja ship is by the shore. Huh? What?
Ooh.
What?
Huh?
And then right on the next page, we see what the big surprise was. We see Shakuyaku walking into the island with all of the pirates, like dead in love with her. Like,
Yeah, I
we
was
can
saying
see-
this in the Discord last week, but I was wondering if Shaki knows that Hancock raided her wardrobe, because it looks like,
They're
Yeah.
wearing the same, yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
It comes with the job. It's like a uniform. It's a very specific uniform.
And the
She still
earrings,
has
too.
She does still
Mhm.
have her little wings there, though.
That's you get to have a little flair. That's your choice. But other than that, you have to wear the outfit.
She's carrying a suitcase. She might have other outfits planned too.
In fact, she might.
We don't know. But the
Poor
narrator
Shaq.
boxes are saying it was one of the most shocking days in the history of Pirate Island. Of all people, the untouchable idol herself, object of the world's desire, set foot into the lair of wild, untamed beasts. All the men that are now very tame with their lovely hearts pumping at her. And you can see a lot of the comments. A goddess has stepped onto her soul. I could die happy right now. And,
Please do.
And she's saying, "Thank you, Tritoma. I'll take it from here." Probably talking about how Tritoma became like the next empress after her. And are they talking through like I think the snail, or is it just like 'cause she's
I
not
think she was
around?
just yelling
Yeah.
up at the ship.
She's projecting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
It's
panel is odd.
comics magic. Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
is Tritoma the one person like in the background by herself?
You see, that's the
maybe.
part I was
Yeah.
confused about personally. Speaking of panels, that could be. Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was. Well, because the bubble is coming from there, so I assume we're just getting like a close up superimposed on top of her also over there.
Mhm.
But maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, maybe she's like facing the ship and Tritoma is on the ship.
That's what I thought.
Actually,
and then
I like this little panel down here where someone says, "Is she really here or am I dreaming?" So, Gorge.
Gorge.
Yeah.
Gorge.
Yeah. So we see all the different people giving their opinions, and then we have a close up of her face. No, I want to live here for a little while. And they're like, "What? She's gonna be here." And then we move to the next panel. She's talking. "I'm a pirate too, you know. I can quit the business, but the Navy's still after me. So I want to hide out here for the moment." And then making like a beautiful face, I went, "Will you please protect me?" And all the pirates crazy, like, "Of course we will. It smells here. We'll clean it up. I like to open my own business. We'll get a bill right now. And we'll plant flowers." So everyone is doing everything for her. The whole island is in love. And then we see the rock spiders coming back, or actually asking what the whole issue is. And they're like, yo, what's all the ruckus? Bunch of numbskulls loitering about causing a scene. It's a rock pirate. Oh no. Please, sirs, don't be angry. This was all our idea. Just don't kick her off the island.
And Rux looks up to see, It is the famed establishment of the Pirate Island Full of Lead, Shacky's Ripoff Bar, noted for its month-long waiting list. And
Why
then
would you
we
call
see
it that?
a very familiar sign
Very
right,
honest.
above
makes
this.
me wonder why the one in Sub Odie didn't do better. I felt like it was kind of,
It's location. Location.
yeah.
Was not so good for that one. But yes, we see that this is Shacky's Rip-Off Bar. And there she is putting on her Shacky apron with the little Gorgon insignia on it. And she's winking. And she says, "I am so glad you came. Welcome. You're my very first customer. Won't you stop in and have a drink?" And the Rocks Pirates respond with their hearts beating out of their chests as they say, "There's an angel among us." And that's, everyone is joining in. John Marlin, I was about to say John Brando, Rocks, Shiki, Captain John, even Whitebeard. They're all reacting. And the narration continues. "This lone peony, blooming amid the blasted wasteland, brought beauty and comfort to the island." Of course, all the Amazons are named after flowers, and so that is what Shakuyaku stands for, is the peony. In time, she would become an irreplaceable treasure to the pirates who made this island their home. And what is treasure, if not something that can be stolen? It says ominously as she does the what is this? The feigned incompetence or helplessness or whatever. She's like, "I can't get it open," and they're all rushing like, "Oh, we'll help." And Rox thinks that even the bar smells nice.
That's because he's never taken a shower in his life, so he has no idea.
Yeah,
Let's be honest.
his standards are.
Yes, he looks like he smells like Johnny Depp.
His standards are questionable. But meanwhile, in the Hall of Power, a very familiar sight, Sacred Mary Joa, we do see the 5 elders in silhouette as they are plotting, as they are wont to do. Give Harold this ultimatum, then. If you warriors of Elbaf meet the following requirement, you will be allowed to join the world government. Kill rocks.
That's Marcus Mars there.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Did you tell me to kick rocks?
No, I said to kill rocks.
Oh, that's much worse.
Well, this would definitely cause a rift between Harold and Loki, if anything were to come of it.
Well, so
Yes.
I think from what I've seen, so remember this was like a flashback in a flashback. Did you all remember that? Because we had first like seen Loki seeing Harold murdered. And he does say something in that chapter along the lines of like it didn't sound like Loki knew exactly what had happened or what had transpired. Not that we do either, but so if Harold does indeed carry this out, Loki certainly was none the wiser at that point, and he was an adult, or at least a teenager at that point.
I thought Roger and Garp got the credit for taking down rocks.
I think
They
you're
did.
right, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
This could be another cover-up, or
Well, and didn't that happen at God Valley?
yeah.
that did
Yeah.
happen at God Valley. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess we're gonna, unless we're gonna get to God Valley again and just be like, anyway, that's unimportant.
Yeah.
It's gonna further prolong.
Save it
that
for
whole
a
thing.
Oda's
different.
really starting to do these retcons now. Like, hey, wait a second. Didn't Full Ed have those eyes in there when Kaido showed up?
Wait
when he
a
was younger?
second.
Shut up. That's why.
Okay. Thoughts on the chapter? Dr. Gomez, you want to start?
Yeah, I think it was pretty interesting to see more of the development of the relationships within the Rock Spirits. You know, we have Big Mom talking to Gloriosa. We have them going on their stealing the funds from this charity place, and then all of them being in love or at least very attracted to Shaggy. I think that develops a lot of the characters for me in the flashback. That's pretty interesting. I am curious to see what that ominous warning is going to be about. Like, is Shaggy going to be involved in some kind of like major power battle between the Roger Pirates and the Rocks Pirates? So yeah, I enjoyed chapter. I look forward to getting
It
back
makes it
to
sound
the
like
present.
Shaggy's going to be kidnapped or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm curious to see, because if she was the Empress of the Kuja Park, she'll probably very strong too. So who would have the power to take her to? So yeah, just some of my thoughts. I'm very excited to see how it all gets developed.
Ed, your thoughts?
Oh, yes, very good chapter this week. I'm surprised about Harold. I mean, I know he wants to change the reputation of Elbaf, but like selling his people out to become Marines? I guess the world government is not to be trusted. He doesn't seem to get that. But overall, very good chapter. It's the government guy just killing the hostage is that's typical. And I do like the bit of the World Economic Journal just printing whatever they want about innocent warships. It's very funny to me. But yes, very good chapter. I don't really have anything else specific to say.
Steven.
Okay, yeah, it's another very dense chapter, you know, keeping up with the rest of this flashback.
I like this
in
time
terms of,
period.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's fun to see more kind of, I guess, misadventures of the Rocks Pirates, since obviously I don't think Oda can't really have like an entire arc in flashback to fully develop them and flesh them all out.
This actually reminds me of
individually.
something I was saying, I think maybe during Marineford, of like, events like this are how people become legends. And these people were already legends when the story began, so we get to see a bit of their actions.
Yeah, I mean, and he kind of leans into that to like portray that. I think I was saying this in a previous chapter where he does sort of lean into portraying them in a way that feels larger than life. Like it doesn't, like it feels like if this was happening in the present day, it would not, come across as kind of wacky as it does here, because he is kind of making them larger than life, which is fun, but I do have some misgivings about what that might do to the story in the present day by comparison. But I'm willing to see it out and find out where he takes this. But yeah, I don't know. It wasn't. It didn't feel like there was a huge amount of forward momentum to it. Although we did get a lot of good characterization, but the hints that that Shaki is the so-called treasure of Pirate Island really does, fascinatingly recontextualize a lot of the older scenes that we got of the Rocks pirates and the events of this era. For example, like that scene that, like, the very first time that we saw the Rocks pirates minus Rocks, they were all rushing to get the treasure of Pirate Island, and they were arguing about it, and that's all much more interesting now because, like, for example, Linlin is talking about how, oh yeah, she wants the treasure, and Kaido says, like, well, what's the point? Like, it's not going to do anything for you. So like, as in, like, well, Shaki's not a man, so like you can't have a baby with her, that sort of thing.
Life
which is,
finds a way.
Well, I thought
maybe
that Kaido was referring to those two devil fruits at God Valley.
That's what it seemed like, but I don't know. I don't know. They're talking a lot about her being a treasure of Pirate Island here, and so that's very, very interesting to consider in that light. So yeah, it's fun. Like, I like that it's kind of goofy that, like, it appears that Oda is kind of like answering this question that in a way that is, it makes all the pirates of the day seem like simps, which is always funny. It, like, takes them down a peg.
God Valley, more like Goon Valley.
There it is.
Yeah. So and that's fun. Like, I think it's a good way to, like, kind of tweak the power scalars a little bit too. Not that was necessarily what Oda was thinking, but I like it for doing that. So that's fun. But yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see. It feels like we're heading towards, okay, what actually happened in the throne room with Harold. I feel like we're getting very close to that now, and I'm excited to see that. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Alex.
Yeah, okay, so I talked about this a little at the top of the show, how I really do enjoy these flashbacks. I think they're great, and I just feel like they kind of derail the arc, like, as a whole.
Aren't the Straw Hats the main character of the story?
It's not just that, but, like, even this flashback derailed Loki's original flashback.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the thing that's kind of, like, frustrating to me about it as a co-host of the One Piece podcast.
It really ties Loki into Rock's story.
It does, and I there's a little bit of that, and I get it. Eventually, we're gonna have to do our arc rankings again, and I don't think it's like, it's really hard for me to find it fair to have a flashback that is tangentially related to the arc at hand and consider that part of the arc when doing my rankings. And I know this is stupid and has nothing to do with this chapter in particular, but it's just a problem that I've been having with like this, and even sort of the Oden flashback being mostly about Gold Roger and Whitebeard. And this is stuff that, like, we kind of do need for the story, but I feel like maybe there should have just been, like, I don't know, Ed, your idea of, like, there should be of like, well, there can't be an arc that's just a flashback. I'm like, well, why not, like, an appendice or something? I don't know. Like, half of Egghead is like, the full lead stuff.
That's like in Game of Thrones, George
Sabo,
Martin. like took a time to write an entire book and like in character as like a historian writing a book about the history of the kings and stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's before I talk about like what I think about the chapter. This is sort of like this is something I'm wrestling with this flashback, and I don't know if any of you guys agree with me on this.
I'm kind of in the boat with you. Not that I'm not enjoying this.
Yeah, I like it. It's fun. It's just
Yeah.
like as like a whole like reading this as a whole story thing. I don't know. It's a little frustrating.
I'll
It's
save my
funny.
thoughts. Yeah.
I was talking about this with a friend of the show, Brian, last night, and it's like, yeah, I liked like last chapter a lot, but I'm starting to feel like now the flashbacks are more about crazy cameos instead of like let's focus on the story here on hand.
Super crazy, no way school.
Yeah, like in a way like that. I think now it's like every flashback is becoming like One Piece Stampede. Which is enjoyable, and I'm sure this is all leading to like a lot of the stuff that's been like the story that's been hinted at for years. I don't think it's bad, but I do get a sense I'm like, and I think it's also with the release schedule and with the breaks recently. I'm like, what's going on in the story again? Oh yeah, that's right, the Herald flashback.
I get a sense also
Low-key
that
flashback.
yeah, I also get a sense that Oda's been doing this for decades now, and we're sort of getting to the point where there's an end game. But I think that he's like, oh crap, I have to tell the rest of in order for this to make sense, people have to know what happened here. So I've got to throw it in here, and I might as well fuck it, just make it part of this whole story arc. So that I kind of get, especially if like you're trying to sort of wrap this story up. But it's maybe it'll play better on a reread for me, but that's sort of what I'm wrestling with. That aside, I thought this was, like you guys said, a very dense, very fun chapter. I really love that the Rocks pirates have this dynamic where they'll just sell each other out. It really feels like in a very similar vein to like how we get to see Roger and the Roger pirates like hang out, and it's a very specific type of pirate vibe. This is also another very specific type of like old school pirate vibe, but it's like this is the real cutthroat, nasty.
They're very chaotic,
nasty gang of ne'er-do-wells. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really fun that a manga about pirates and people are like, okay, well, like the Straw Hats don't really act like pirates too much, and now we get to sort of see like between Roger and Rocks, like those two almost diametrically opposed schools of thought when it comes to pirating. I think that's really, really neat. And I kind of love that the beginning of this chapter is so goofy, where you have that like that little panel of Wang Ji just pointing at Shiki. Like that's just a like it's so funny. Like it's not just a here's an info dump. It's also Oda just using his craft and being able to still do his like little gags and face faults and stuff.
Yeah, these
like
people
that.
have to work together somehow.
I mean, I think they're all. It sounds like they're all operating under the goal of get Shaki back, right? I mean, that's. Do we remember? I forget what the catalyst for that was. Like, why is Shaki on God Valley? Did the Celestial Dragons kidnap her, or were they trying to get the treasure back from Roger? Like, what who stole?
Well, yeah,
the
we
treasure
don't
from
know
Full
for sure yet. I think.
Yeah, and I wonder if the treasure wasn't stolen from Full Ed, but Shaki was like, "Oh, hey, Rayleigh, you're my crush.
Right,
I'm gonna go with you guys," and that was misconstrued as yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's super interesting, and it also like this chapter kind of made me have an aha moment where Bulma's original voice actress in Japanese was the original voice actress for Shaki, and I'm like, wow, that's when at the time I was like, that's a really heavy hitter to get for this like minor character, and now I'm like, oh, this is a very important character.
It's too bad that Hiromi Tsuru has passed away. Unfortunately.
But I had that thought today when I was reading the chapter. I was like, oh yeah, now it makes sense that they got like such a famous a famous voice actress for that role in particular. Now, I think the interesting thing to me about this whole thing, aside from Harold, Harold's whole like deal with the government. For a flashback about Harold, we've seen very little interaction between him and the government, which is like really strange to me, because it's like, oh well, we don't really know what happened, with we weren't in the room where it happened, so to speak. But here's some fun shit with Rocks and his crew. Because like we get to the end of this chapter and it's Jupiter saying like kill Rocks, like there's our ultimatum. Why don't you kill this guy and then we'll allow you to join the government. Like there's still some pieces that are missing here for me, and I guess for everybody else, obviously, and that will eventually tie into why these goons from Marie-Joie are at Elbaf in the first place. And I guess I'm just like, this is a really roundabout way of saying the same thing that Steven did. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting to that point. Anyway.
Yeah, that's the exciting part, tying this back into the actual narrative of what the Straw Hats are doing.
Yeah, because once we get to that point, then I'm going to have to reread all this, because it's like, oh yeah, all this happened. Yeah. So those are my thoughts on this chapter, which I thought was very fun.
The thing you were saying about flashback too is usually, because even during like classic One Piece, like I'm sure you probably remember this, Alex, like there would be the occasional people who would like poo-poo on the flashbacks because like they take away from the momentum of the arc, even when it was like single focused flashbacks.
I heard that a lot, I think, with Choppers, because it's sort of in the middle.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy to think of.
Yeah,
because they're so focused and they're so well told and everything, and maybe like Nolan and Calgar is probably the chief example because it doesn't seem like it's related. But this, but like this is like, okay, this is like a double flashback. This is where I'm like, okay, this I get. Like I completely understand the argument that this is totally throwing off the momentum of the story that we're supposedly working through in this story arc.
Now what I wonder is, sorry to cut you off there, Zach. What I wonder is, in this instance, Steven, is if like this particular part of the flashback with Rocks was supposed to maybe happen towards the like end of the arc, because like that way you can put Harold stuff into context, but maybe narratively it makes way more sense this way if you just front load all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And that way you can just get out of the way. And
are we on like chapter 3 or 4 of this flashback now?
6. We're on
5?
6.
Okay, yeah.
I lost,
Okay. These flashbacks are longer and longer.
It started in 1152.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anything else?
But it's funny that Steven, it's funny you mentioned the Nolan Calgara, because that's when I started reading One Piece Weekly. It was in the middle of that, and that was like the biggest like, what the fuck is happening,
right?
Like week by week thing, and that's a flashback that I didn't really appreciate until my reread. So I feel like maybe we'll get that here. It'll make sense once everything is all said and done. But
yeah, I mean, I think he's obviously he's telling the backstory of Elbaf, but he's also making the Rocks pirates make sense so that once everything has been told, we'll have kind of a full picture of like God Valley and how all these events came together to cause what happened today. It's just a type of story that he has to be very careful about when and where he gives us the details, and that's why they end up getting shoehorned into these weird other spots like Oden's flashback in here and Kuma's flashback and everything. So I hope in the end, even if it diminishes each flashback individually, I think it's going to tell a story that we couldn't have gotten.
It just raises further questions, important questions.
Now, I do wonder if there are any characters at this point who have been alluded to that, like, now we've seen them all, right? Like, we've seen all the shadowy figures except for Emu, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about
the shadowy figures at the end of Thriller Bark, right?
Thriller Bark, yeah.
Yeah.
Steve.
Okay, that's Galila.
What about?
I wasn't on the podcast for this.
We talked about.
We did talk about that.
Good.
Yeah.
What about Lily and Joy Boy? Those are figures we haven't seen.
Those are flashback characters.
Yes, this isn't that far. This isn't that long ago.
Steve, thoughts on the chapter?
I was kind of cold on this chapter. I like some of the moments we get with the Rocks pirates just doing stuff together. It's good to establish like what the relationships are like with these guys, but I think kind of just like hinting at, you know, what we've already been discussing. It's like I feel like we're getting like it's like I feel like we're getting off topic here. It's like what's the focus of this again? But you know, hopefully it all kind of sticks the landing. Because when it went back to Harold, I'm like, oh yeah, Harold. You know, the
When are
person.
we gonna get to the fireworks factory?
It's just more like, you know, this started like and the focus so much on Harold, and then it's like, yeah, but Rox is here and he's Blackbeard's dad and he's aura farming and his farm
And he's got a big
so
boner for Harold.
rich
He
in
wants Harold.
soil with aura. And I'm like, yeah, it's the guy that we found out about, you know, years ago.
Steve, he's peak.
I'm just old. I don't know. Maybe, am I so out of touch?
His nose is peak.
It's the children who are wrong.
Well, if anything, I think, you know, I liked Blackbeard when he had his old nose. I think that was more interesting. So yeah, like the Rock Pirate stuff is fun, but I'm like, yeah, okay, but yeah, where is this going? But I'm guessing it's all kind of tied in with, you know, brings back to like the elders saying you got to kill Rox, Harold. So I guess it just ties in with Harold, and maybe this will kind of like circle back and with because Rox was such a huge inspiration for Loki here. Yeah, it was just a chapter kind of felt like okay, kind of felt a little all over the place with this one. But
These characters are cool. I would read all of their stories individually.
yeah, it just
I mean, like I'd been saying for years that I would love a second series where it's just the adventures of Garp, and we're already kind of getting that.
for sure. One of the things I want to knock, I mean, this shouldn't be a surprise, but I don't know. It felt like previous chapter, Shocky was drawn a little bit more like differently than typical Oda females because she does have an atypical design when she's introduced.
She was very
Shabandi.
angular.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
and like a different kind of jawline, and she didn't necessarily have all those features in the last chapter.
And she had the bob haircut. Now she has long hair.
Yeah, but I was like, okay, but that does look like a young Shocky. I get it. But this one, it just looks like Nami with black hair. They have the same hair.
Or like Viola in Hancock cosplay or something.
But specifically Shocky here, she even has the little, you know, the little hair curl that Nami has. It's Nami with black hair. And,
Oh yeah, we don't know Nami's true parents,
God.
do we?
Nami's mommy.
Nami mommy.
It's Nami mommy. You know, yeah, that was if you showed me a picture of this character and I didn't know it was Shocky, I would be like, Hancock? Like, it's not my favorite thing in the world.
That's one of my biggest gripes here, but yeah, I'm just curious to see where the whole rip-off bar thing is going here.
Also, did they rip off the rip-off bar and just paste it onto Shabandi? Because it looks like the same building. Using Shiki's power, maybe?
No, I just meant they hired a surface.
Oh, yeah.
they
Movers
put it in
across
a U-Haul.
islands.
Just like a giant picked it up.
Got a big box from Home Depot.
Yeah. Yes. Oh,
Yeah. Do you have Shaki's rip-off bar in those boxes
probably.
there?
But other than that, yeah, I don't know. This one didn't resonate with me as much. And I don't want to like drag out anything more than that's already been said, but I think this one feels like a real like yeah, I guess I really gotta wait and see how this plays out, but seeing the release schedule, I guess I really gotta wait. But Zach, you could take it from here.
Are we off next week? Should probably
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, I saw the app said new chapter in 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think, Steve, I agree with you the most. This chapter, I think the discussions that have been had are warranted and mostly true. Particularly what Alex's like analyses of flashbacks, especially recent flashbacks. I am a firm believer that the way that we read the series as a podcast is probably not the optimal way to read the series. Like when I have a guest that comes on, not please continue listening every week, download the episode even if you're not. But that being said, like when a guest comes on and they're like, oh, you were a good impetus for me to catch up. It's been a few months. I had to read, a marathon of them. Like that kind of willpower I really do admire, and I also think is the better way to read these chapters. And probably look, I know for a fact the very last two panels are an example of Oda like, okay, I'm writing this for the Shonen Jump issue. But I think even more so in his mind is the Tonkabon, the volume. Like, I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, Steven, but like I think the majority of readers and take it like that in Japan, or certainly like a plurality.
Yeah, they definitely, because the readership is so much older than the average Jump series. There's definitely a very significant. I wouldn't know if it was like the majority or anything, but there's definitely a very significant portion of the readership that are just like, oh, well, I just pick up the volume when it's out in the store, and I do think that at least for people who might be tempted to read week to week under other circumstances, the fact that it's like you never know if it's going to be on or off, I think that just helps people move on and be like, oh, okay, whatever, I'm just going to wait until the moment catches me, the right moment comes along for me to read the last 3 months or whatever, because it's like, well, half the time when you look on Sunday, it's like, oh, well, there's no chapter anyway, so why am I getting my hopes up, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I know that everyone here listening is probably like, what the hell, that doesn't make any sense, I need to be reading this immediately, and I get that as someone who does. But I think the flashbacks in particular need to kind of be read like that. I think Nolan and Calgary are a really fantastic example that Alex brought up, because I personally cannot imagine liking that flashback, reading it week to week, not knowing what comes next. Like, you're reading like half of a story that kind of happens, that you really need the full context to love. And I love that flashback, do not get me wrong. But it needs its context around it. It isn't what it is without it. This certainly feels like that. The thing that is like particularly annoying, I want to say, and that like particularly squashes the momentum here is, and Alex, since we were talking about fatherhood and all that, like the story with Loki at the beginning of this flashback, or the middle, I don't know, whatever, a bunch of chapters ago, was like really well done, heartbreaking, like, and very much related to the current events of the story, in both like themology and characterization. So you have the future, the children of the future thing. It has been kind of the calling card of this arc. The whole Vox stuff is so unrelated to the emotional core of this flashback. That's the part that gets me. And yes, I yearn for simpler days of Chopper, but the Robin flashback, that is an example of how you do a really emotionally sincere and just like emotionally like destroying sort of chapter, in the context of like some really big world events that shake everything and really matter. And I'll say the Egghead flashback with Kuma, I think also does that a lot better from what I've seen so far, because Kuma is on God Valley. It makes sense, like, why we're going through that. The Odin flashback makes some sense because we're talking about Odin. Odin's there. He's good friends with everyone for some reason. He's the Forrest Gump of that world. He gets to experience. He's at all the major events. But that makes sense. He's in the Mary Sue of all countries, so he should be the Forrest Gump.
He drank 15 Dr. Peppers.
Yeah, he did win that ping pong tournament. We all remember. But
he told JFK that he really had to pee.
A man has to pee.
Didn't he do something with Nixon? I don't remember. Odin, I'm talking about, obviously. But
yes, Odin.
But this has no bearing to the story emotionally or narratively. Not saying it's bad. Sometimes on the contrary. But that definitely makes me feel more disconnected to what's actually happening here.
I think you're kind of nailing what I was feeling, but didn't know how to describe. And I'm like, yeah, this is cool and all, but I feel like,
what about the mobile suits? Like, what about the stuff that we were like, like the
emotional.
I wasn't on for that chapter, but Loki climbing up the tree, like that was something I've never seen before in One Piece, and it actually like it kind of gutted me. And I think it's like amazing that like thousand some chapters in, One Piece can still do that to me. And I don't know if that's a result of me being a new father or not, but it was like it just fucking tore me to shreds. And then it's just like, oh yeah, by the way, Rox was also a character, and remember that silhouette? Well, here's what he actually looked like, and da da da. I'm gonna use so the author Terry Pratchett, the late Terry Pratchett, had this book series Discworld, and Terry Pratchett's writing style is like, it's satirical, comedic. My favorite thing about the Discworld series is that he'll do footnotes a lot. Like asterisks with like, footnotes. And sometimes the footnotes can like be like half a page long and, for comedic effect. But that's what this feels like. It feels like, oh yeah, Rox. And here's like an asterisk. Here's all about Rox for like X amount of chapters. Like it's like a footnote of a footnote. And it seems like an important one. But yeah, momentum wise. And I miss that father son thing, like I what I wanted to say earlier, and I just totally forgot about it because this chapter is mostly about fucking Rox. Ida is such a great character.
Yes,
she's such a great, a great positive mom character, and it keeps making me think of what Oda said about like how like only boys are only allowed to have adventures when they
moms are the opposite of adventure. I think is the quote.
Yeah,
which I hate.
But she's like such a great mom, and out of like every mom character that we've seen in One Piece, she feels like the most real to me. Does that make sense? Like the way she like. How much she loves her son and her like stepson. It's such a good it's such a nice thing to see in this world of men, and it makes me really like fearful for what may or may not happen to her later on.
She dies of illness, disease.
I hate illness disease. That's the worst. You don't want to get that.
But it sucks because like we get like one page of like that, and I'm like, I like Rox hanging out at the bar with Harold and Ida because it feels like that sort of relates to what's happening, and Loki's out there with Mato and
that's all the Loki we get in this Loki flashback chapter. That little tiny Charlie Brownie looking Loki there.
He's very cute.
Yeah. He is cute.
He heard all of that through the window.
It sucks because said this is not maybe the most optimal way to like absorb the ongoing story of this series, but I think maybe this will all work out because like we want to know a little bit more about Rox and the Rox pirates. Middle here, in case you forgot, I feel like it's the most forgettable part of this chapter was the scene with Harold and the government agent and him saving all those people, because this all has to tie back into what's actually happening in the current storyline. In case we forgot, it's been like 2 months, maybe more. Is that basically the government is just erasing history and enslaving all of Elbaf. So this all has to tie back into just like Elbaf striving to be like recognized as a nation in this country, and I think it's there. It's just it's not the flashy, showy parts of this chapter. It's literally just like snuck in the middle here, and surrounded by Rock's pirates' antics, and then Shakuyaku, isn't she beautiful? So I have faith, but I think right now it feels a little more eating my vegetables.
Yeah, that's the thing. This shouldn't feel like eating your vegetables. I think Ed, who had a run out, I think he made a good point in that I stumbled upon a good point that I think Alex also mentioned. Why can't you just have an arc that's a flashback? Like, it's Oda's manga. Do what you want, man. You know, like, do your thing. I'm sure you could make it narratively make sense and be interesting. I would love to read a whole arc that's a flashback. That sounds amazing. I think flashbacks, particularly in the new era, so to speak, are kind of the highlights of arcs. Certainly Dressrosa. So, and I'd even say Wano, like, which is an amazing arc, but that is a very good flashback. I think it has some like really real emotional, drive, even with the issues that it does have. Yeah.
Well, the nice thing about the Oden flashback is it also reminds you what this series is about. Since like Wano, we spent like week to week, like what, 3-4 years?
It was kind of inverse of what we're getting here.
In like fantasy Japan, and then it's like, oh yeah, here's a really fun pirate adventure story within this.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like that's the thing. I think it's more that this is a perfectly good story that's sandwiched in like 3 other stories, and the problem is, I think we all kind of knew that this was gonna, in the back of our heads, that we would probably be getting this story here. Because we had the stuff with Rocks that was hinted at with Loki. Obviously, Oda was planting those seeds. I just don't know. This chapter felt more like a waste of time than the previous ones, I think is kind of where I feel. Like, it's not that it's bad, or that it's bad storytelling, or that any of the characters aren't engaging. It just feels like that some of this wasn't really super necessary, but we don't also, like, I'm going to contradict myself here right now. We don't know that that's true either, Like, we don't know what's going to happen next. Like, the stuff with the Kujas sometimes feels a little superfluous, but obviously it isn't. Like, I know that sitting here. It's just when you're reading it week to week, it's like, okay, how does this fit in with everything here? And how does Rocks and the full lead stuff? And do we have to know the origin of the eye holes? Like,
only I am allowed to use
is that necessary? I'm like, I love seeing young Garp. Don't get me wrong. What does that have to do with what's going on right now? Like all that kind of stuff. It just feels a little forced, I think, is where I'm coming. Like, I know there'll be people listening who are like, don't be such a downer on this, and I'm not. I want to make it clear that this is not detracting my enjoyment of the flashback, even though this wasn't my favorite of the flashback chapters. It is more that I feel like it could have been done better, and it's kind of a squandered opportunity, which we've had a few of those. There are definitely like times where like the theories that we or other fans have, it's like, oh, that would have been really cool if he did that, and then it's something else. But I do also want to. My favorite part of this chapter were all the parts with Harold in it. I thought it was really emotional, and we didn't even talk about. And I wanted to talk about the political resonance and just like current events resonance of this chapter. Like, Jesus Christ, like Oda, this is just like what is happening in this world right now. I feel like what was
well,
that?
I mean, like, I guess, you've watched Andor.
I have watched Andor, yeah.
And
Steve and
so
I were
Tony
talking about
Gilroy,
yeah.
Tony Gilroy was on like the press tour for Andor. This is relevant, I promise.
No, I
Talking
know. I
about
want to
how,
talk
like,
about Andor. We could talk about that if you
yeah,
want.
but like talking about how like politically resonant, like contextually everything that happens in the show is, and he's like, well, if you just read history books, this is stuff that cyclically has happened and is happening like all the time. Like it's not a new thing. This is literally how history goes. And I think I'm feeling the same way with like whenever something happens in One Piece that like, oh yeah, hey, that's happening right now in my country.
Yeah, I mean, it's happening in our world right now. I think
Yeah.
I think what is like what feels particularly resonant about this arc and everything, everything going on in Israel and Palestine, everything going on in Ukraine and Russia, everything going on in this country with immigration, and I could go on and on and on. There's a lot of really awful things happening right now. But I think that's maybe why it sticks out even more so than usual. It might be Oda, but it also might be us as readers. Like we talked about this a few weeks or months ago when we were talking about Emu being like, okay, this is laughably evil, but then I'm like, wait a second, no, there's this type of person totally exists in this real world that we live in. And I think, and as I said, if we read this 10, 15, 20 years ago, we might be like, there's not really that much of that. Yeah, that feels a little far-fetched. But fiction feels a lot closer to reality when reality is so, what is it, beyond satire, I think we've is the terminology dubbed. Like that's kind of, satire might be dead, but this kind of like literary I don't know what to call it, like political literary overtones, undertones, feels way more at the surface and raw.
I think that's part of
But
the beauty of Oda's talent. I mean, he can recreate and mimic so many of the societal nuances and complications in a storytelling that is so compelling. I mean, we've seen other countries that are taking One Piece narratives and using them as political dialogue arenas or at least foundations. I mean, we saw in Indonesia people raising the
yes, yeah,
flag. So, like,
we did report on that live. What was that,
yeah.
2 weeks ago? Yeah.
So there's a lot of different signs, even in countries in South America. There's been reports of people uh, criticizing their government based on things they've seen on manga and anime. Not only One Piece, but One Piece is one of the ones that keeps popping up as a very ubiquitous reference they're using. I think it's very interesting that we see this from all kinds of levels. That One Piece is not only reflecting society, it's also making us think and kind of create different perspectives of what we see on our own worlds and also in that fantasy world that doesn't feel as fantasy anymore, especially in the bad conflicts. They feel more like something that we're living or that we're going to live or that we have lived before. It's just the beauty of story writing that Oda can bring to us. But I think knowing this and knowing that One Piece is one of the most popular and best known series out there nowadays, it really makes us wonder, like, is the essence of what's going on right now in society is just conflict, and every author is trying to recreate it the best way possible?
I mean, shonen is also
Yeah.
built on conflict. Like, that's a very good point. I know we talked about Mouse a couple weeks ago when we had Chris on too, but like, I do think comics in particular have like an ability to get through because they're kind of undermined. Like they're like, yeah, this is for kids. And I think that can allow, that kind of thing to get through a little bit more, not to blow the lid off of that.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on the chapter? Sorry, I got off the rails, but that is to say, once again, the Herald stuff is my personal favorite stuff in this chapter.
I do want to bring something up really quick.
Yes.
That I brought up while I was reading the chapter, and I found this on Twitter. This is something from a couple of weeks ago that I remember. This was the Marlon Krieg connection.
Oh,
really quick.
Yeah.
Is that Greg retweeted something from a Japanese Twitter user about how, like, the kuri in kuriku is chestnut, like savory chestnut, and marlin is maron, which is
Marlon,
also
yeah.
chestnut. So they could be related.
I really
in that
think
way.
it's Marlon Brando, and there's probably nothing.
I mean, also that
Yeah.
very obviously looks like Marlon Brando.
And he
Yeah.
does.
But but I thought that was kind of fun and interesting.
I could see though. I could see that, but I could also see Oda being like, "Oh yeah, no, I was just doing a Marlon Brando thing, and I didn't think about that." I could see both, and that's the beauty of Oda. He's like a peony, blooming in the desert. And with that, let's move into the next segment.
This is the double anime recap for episodes 1139 and 1140. I'm your host Sam, and today with me we have Outcast's own Steve Yurko.
Just want to say I'm sorry, Miss Jackson, for forgetting my home nation of Stankonia. I was gonna give him a shout out, but then I tripped up there. Shout out to all the good people of Stankonia. Keep on stanking.
I'm just what have I listened to on my phone lately? I'm doing like music lately.
Oh, you're doing music.
I've been doing just what bands can I pretend Steve Yurko's a part of?
Me and Outcasts, we're tight. Atlanta crew. You listen to a lot of Outcast?
I know the one song.
Which is the one song?
Hey Ya?
Hey Ya? Okay, yeah.
It's a good song.
It's like a staple.
All right. So, our first episode on the docket is 1139. Destroy Egghead. The Buster Call is invoked. And this episode brings in the first time that the anime is using the new opening, which is Carmine by L Garden. And it's I love the visuals. I don't feel like the visuals and the music are bringing a lot out of each other.
A little bit of time has passed since I talked about this with Zach. I do like the visuals. The visuals are good. I think the visuals are appropriate for where we're heading in this arc.
Mm-hmm.
This song, it's not a bad song, but when I've listened to it on like Spotify,
mm-hmm.
I realize halfway through I tune out.
Yeah, like I couldn't hum it in my head right now.
Yeah. It's starting to stick with me a little bit more, but like it felt like such a lightning bolt up the ass.
Yeah, and this one feels like maybe I don't know if the full version is out.
It is,
but it feels like the song is building to like a bigger energy than it actually gets to in the anime size version.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a very great looking episode. There's a lot of individual like scenes and cuts that I really enjoyed. I think the VV shot is great. I thought the Roger, like going backwards in time to Roger's execution was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
In Mogtown.
It's a great sequence.
Those were the standouts for sure.
Do you think maybe because like you watch like JJK and stuff like that? Do you feel like this opening is like pandering to that kind of crowd a little bit?
I mean, I know it is. So I believe it's directed by the director of the third JJK opening, which is maybe its strongest opening. I don't know if pandering. I just think cool maybe shows pandering can be inspired by cool shows.
It feels like it's like an olive branch to like other shonen stuff. It's like, hey, it's like One Piece could be cool too.
I mean, that's how I felt about like Dreamin' On. Was like, oh, this is the most Naruto an opening has ever been. Which I don't think that's a bad thing. I think Naruto has very good openings.
Yeah. From like what little I've known, I mean, I knew the first batch of Naruto openings 20 years ago, but
anyway, we can continue on through the episode. This episode covers basically exactly chapter 1105 from the manga. And it opens with Vegapunk he's just learned about the Buster Call coming, and he's begging Saturn to revoke the order, saying that Egghead is the future of mankind, and there's all this research and progress that's being developed that's like all on this island. If it gets destroyed, you're setting mankind's progress back 100 years. And Saturn is very unsympathetic to this argument. We have Vice Admiral Dahl trying to urge Saturn and Kizaru to evacuate, but Saturn says, no, Kizaru and I will stay behind. And there's this very funny shot of Kizaru and Vegapunk making eye contact, and then Kizaru looks away like a guilty dog. Saturn is saying that the government does not need progress. That is not a desirable thing for the leader of the world. And he's telling Vegapunk that, oh yeah, by the way, that evacuation ship of researchers that you sent out the other day, we're already tracking it down to be destroyed. And we get a shot of an ominous Navy warship approaching it, and they're doing as much as they can to make us believe that this evacuation ship has in fact been destroyed, without outright confirming it. Sanji is seeing Bonney and Frankie and everybody off in the rocket vacuum. But he's not going to go with them. He's going to go help Vegapunk and make sure Vegapunk is safe. And we got the scene of the crew kind of communicating each other with the little like intercom things that are part of their costumes, which I don't know if these are like there's like secretly little snails in them, or if this is like Vegapunk unique technology. But they're never going to use this again once they're off this island.
In your ear.
Yeah. Usopp's freaking out about the news of the Buster Call. Robin is much more chill about it, despite having a much more personal relationship with the attack formation. Sanji and Nami are sort of making communications over the phone here. The whole time Nami is like posing like a model. She's got her like hand on her hip, like making sure like, oh, is this
the exact one?
Is this a good like wet leg swivel camera? And Zoro is still fighting Lucci, and they are concerned that if Zoro ever has to get anywhere, he's going to get lost. Brooke and Lilith are on the Sunny, and they are just like zooming. We see the background kind of like moving past them, and Lilith is really amazed by Brooke's ability to move the Sunny on his own. And his bright idea was to turn the clouds into the island clouds into ice, so that the Sunny can very easily glide on it like a slide. And Lilith is just like got stars in her eyes. She's just super amazed by this idea. And Brooke is flattered that the world's most genius scientist is impressed. And then she's like asking him like, oh, and so what's our stopping plan? And she's like still like all like starry eyed and excited because she's so certain that he's got a great idea. And Brooke is like, never really thought about it. And then she punches him.
I didn't ask her to stop.
I think that's a really funny joke. Vice Admiral Doberman is giving the formal orders to commence the Buster Call, and so now cannon blasts are going all over the place, and we have a scene of Luffy laying on the ground, and he's got like dishes of food all around him, and he's eating. And he's getting all fat and bloated, as Luffy does. And the Marines are pointing their guns at him, but they're even getting tossed around by the cannon blasts. But thankfully, Luffy is pretty undisturbed by the ground getting blown up around him. He's still eating his meal. He's just bouncing around like nothing's happening.
It's like a dog at the bowl, just focused.
Yeah. And that brings us to the eye catch of the episode. And we come back and the attack is raging on. We got pacifistas shooting their lasers from their hands. And we get specifically a shot of like one of the pacifistas making his attack, and then the camera kind of pulls out and sort of reveals that the pacifista was a kind of a reflection, like a memory in Vegapunk's eye. So he's like seeing his own creation destroy his island. Even, you know, metaphorically, he's not, the pacifist is not actually in the scene. But
beautiful war machines.
Saturn is giving he's telling Kizaru to do it. And Kizaru's mouth, there's a close-up of Kizaru's mouth, like very detailed, like scrunching up with dissatisfaction, but you know, he's gonna abide. And Bonney and Frankie's group, they're launching through the rocket vacuum, and they're like flying through the tubes, and Kizaru is like, no, and then he like zips around. The very cool image of Kizaru like very quickly catching up with them, swirling around the tube, pulling out his beam sword, the Ama no Murakumo, and like using it like a big whip. He just slices right through it, slices like the tip of the rocket, so that the crew is just kind of like flying out from the momentum. And then we're going to spend like a good episode and a half just hanging in the air here as Sanji jumps to their aid and he's skywalking towards them as fast as he can. Saturn is he's ordering the pacifistas to aim and shoot at Bonney and Kuma, and then they're readying their lasers again. And then, you know, they're all flying in the air still, and Kuma gives Bonney a hug, and, you know, Bonnie's got tears in her eyes, and the tears are flying up and hitting the brim of Kuma's hat.
Yeah, that was a nice little shot. I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Saturn is thinking about how cool it is that the daughter that Kuma tried so hard to save is about to be killed by his own clone. He thinks it's a befitting death for an insect, which is, I feel like that's giving insects more importance in your mind than the word insect would suggest.
Insects could do lots of things.
And Vegapunk is having, you know, he's watching the scene. He's got an internal monologue in his mind. He's like, Bonney, when I heard you became a pirate, the worst scenario entered my mind. And he's talking about how he was worried about this exact moment of, you know, a clone that looks like Kuma being the one to attack and hurt Kuma's own daughter. And he's, you know, we kind of hold on this thought. It's not a complete thought just yet. And so we kind of stay in suspense, in this moment of time, and then the episode wraps up with a shot of the Marine ship that was ordered to attack the evacuees. Actually, that ship got intercepted by someone else and destroyed, and the escapees, the escaping ship from Egghead is in fact okay and got away. And but who could have done this? We'll have to wait until next episode, to be continued. And then we wrap up. This is the first time now that the anime is using the new ending song, which is called Punks by Chameleon Line Whoopie Pie. Whoopie Pie. Again, like the song, it's, well, okay, no, I can hear the, like, you know, if I'm just trying to remember the song, the intro bit is definitely easy to conjure in my head. And is the visuals are all just the Vegapunk satellites getting together on a couch and watching a movie, it seems, but it's maybe a movie about
watching One Piece.
They're watching One Piece. They're watching Luffy or Nika and Shaka.
They're reacting to like certain things because it always like it cuts to them like it cuts and then like each one of them has like a certain response to something.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, Lilith feels like you get the impression that she's watching herself and she's like kind of bragging about some great accomplishment that they're watching on the screen.
That's why I thought like, oh, they're actually just watching One Piece, but that was my.
And then they go into the TV to try to reach out to Nika, and then Lilith wakes up on the couch. It was all a dream. I like it. I like the way they're drawing Lilith here.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very appealing. Then episode 1140, an admired hero, the warrior of liberation who saves Bonney. And this is adapting basically 1-to-1 chapter 1106 from the manga. And so we're back to stuffed Luffy, who is concentrating really, really, really hard to digest his food. He's like, and then boom, just sucks it all in, and now he's back to being a swole young man. And the Buster Call is commencing, and this is where I wrote in my notes like, wow, they used a CGI like cannon smoke from the Marine ship, and then I didn't know that was like this is gonna be the whole episode's thing.
This is the CG episode.
So this is,
I'm like, oh wow, they used a CG smoke effect there. I guess I don't know. I guess save time. And then as this episode went on, I'm like, oh.
Yeah. So this is definitely, I guess what I would call in another context, I would have been calling this like a butt episode. It's the episode that suffers from them putting all their time and effort into surrounding episodes. But this is the first time where it's like they're going this hard on like just like really like just like it just feels like basic like stock animation CGI like explosion effects.
Yeah, like that cut and then it would cut to like a shot where it was an actual 2D animated explosion, and I'm like, it looks so much better.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny that when like ships are getting attacked later, there's a big explosion effect, and then like I'm pretty sure that if you just like disabled the explosion and disabled like the little debris particle effects, like it's not like they're animating chunks of the ship coming out. Like the explosion is covering everything that they don't want to draw today. Mm-hmm. Which like I guess that's better than like just long shots of like wonky looking drawings that they didn't have time to fix.
Right.
Like there's a lot of like covering stuff up and a lot of cutting around stuff in this episode.
Should we just talk about all the CG stuff?
I mean, it's just oh yeah, there's like CGI pacifistas. There's
and that was a bit distracting.
Yeah, and there's some other ways in which you can kind of feel the corner cutting.
CG waves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the ships are CG.
Yeah.
Well, not all the ships. When the ships are still, they're drawings. They're when they're exploding, they're CG. When they're moving in the waves, they're CG.
I don't know. I wouldn't say it just completely ruined this episode. It's not a terrible episode, but it was very noticeable.
Yeah. I was kind of more just fascinated by it, like that they went so hard in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose I do prefer that to, like seeing very rushed, ugly drawings or unfinished animations. Like instead, they're just kind of trying to just disguise the stuff that they couldn't do in time.
Mm-hmm.
So where was I? My notes. So Luffy is so now the Marines are getting disoriented because they're getting blown up by cannonballs too, and they kind of lose sight of Luffy until they hear his laugh, his maniacal Gear 5 laugh, and we hear the drums of liberation and the music, and the ground gets all lumpy and bouncy, and the Marines get tossed up in the air, and Luffy emerges from the smoke, and he's in Gear 5 mode, and he's making a scary face. And back at the other side of the episode, on the other side of the island, we're still being held in suspense as half the crew is like falling out of the sky, and the pacifistas are threatening to shoot. And Atlas, like, it's like air swims over does some breaststrokes over to Bonney to whisper some really important information that we don't get to hear right away, or really at all, but we figure it out in a moment or two. Atlas says something, the dialogue cuts out. Bonney has a face of realization. She looks up at her dad and just sort of admires her dad for a moment before then shouting to the entire island, giving the pacifistas an order to not shoot and instead help them escape Egghead. And so we're left in this moment of like, what? As the pacifistas' orders are overridden. You see their circuitry, and like you see like the light. You can tell that something is registering with the pacifistas, that this is overriding their previous orders. And now we're getting the rest of Vegapunk's narration from the previous episode. He's kind of explaining to the audience that because he worried about the situation of the pacifistas attacking Bonney, they had an override program, a prime directive to always be on Bonnie's side. So she apparently has even greater authority than the world government, than the Five Elders. And so he knew, and he's like, and obviously with this choice to include this prime directive, there's unavoidable consequences. And as he's saying this, a shadow looms over Vegapunk, a stabby sound effect, and we see like Vegapunk's feet kind of shift in place, and then blood splatters on the ground. Camera pulls out. Saturn has impaled Vegapunk through the torso with one of his legs. Really violent and bloody. Like Vegapunk is coughing up very detailed, very chunky looking blood.
Not CG.
Not CG. Yeah, so he knew that this would mean his death, even though he was already, all the other stuff was already going to kill him. But I guess in the moment of realization, Saturn just said, "Fuck it, we're killing him now. It's got to be me. It's got to be my leg." And Kizaru takes this as his cue to go for Bonney. And Sanji tries to get in his way. Sanji's pretty fast, but he's not faster than light. And we get this now Toshishida again, who has been like the one like kind of standout animator for the last 10 episodes, it seems. So he's drawing Sanji trying to intercept Kizaru, failing, and then Luffy's big giant fist coming in to save the day. As a
very cartoonish punch sound effect,
cartoonish punch sound effect, and Luffy, using the whole city as his bounce castle. And this is like another area where like you can kind of feel where they're trying to disguise the cut corners, where like there's a lot of like a Sheeta animated cut, but then also it's Luffy bouncing in and out of frame, and like the sound effects are kind of making it feel a little more animated than it actually is. There's a lot of that. And that brings us to the eye catch of the episode, And then we come back, and Sanji and the others are now falling to the ground, but thankfully the ground is made of bounce castle now, so they're safe, and Frankie gets stuck upside down, and his legs are kicking in the air. Bonney rushes to Vegapunk's aid, and Luffy's still bouncing through the city, and like the thought that I had is that Luffy is moving through the city the way that like the velociraptors are moving through the tall grass in the Lost World.
How so?
Like the buildings, the city, the skyscrapers are just like kind of like swaying as like the Marines and Saturn and all that are like looking around like, where is he? And we get a flashback of a surprisingly unoriginal flashback, I think, of Kuma, the first time Kuma's telling Bonney about Nika and doing the Nika dance for her. And then we come back and the dying Vegapunk. We know through history with One Piece that having a giant hole that's at least half the size of your body weight does not mean you can't kind of talk and give a dying speech. And Vegapunk is telling Bonney that Luffy, the man that Kuma had been keeping an eye on all these years, was in fact Nika, the sun god. Big, huge zoom in to Bonnie's like moment of realization. The wind is sort of like lifting her hair to like have this like moment of and then we finish the episode off with the approaching ship. So we're getting our answers to who saved the escapees in the last episode. There's an approaching ship, and on the ship are some familiar faces and voices who seem very thrilled to be joining the battle. And the Marines are looking up and seeing a giant ship emerging from the fog. It's a Viking-themed ship, 10 to 20 times bigger than the Navy warships. And the Marines are like, oh my god. And the ship just plows through like a battering ram. And Dory and Brogy jump off of their ship and land on the Marines' ships, and then just start like chopping away at the sail masts. And they're just smiling and grinning and laughing, and the Marines are calling for an emergency over a split screen shot of Dory and Brogy. To be continued. General thoughts on these two episodes, Steve?
Let's not call them butt episodes. I think the first episode was fine. It definitely was. They really carried that sense of dread throughout it. It's like, oh wow, they killed those people. Because even I forgot. I'm like, oh yeah, did this happen? But then I forgot. I'm like, oh yeah, there was that kind of cold open with Under the Water. What was that all about? So I kind of really liked how that came back around, and it ended with it revealed that warship got destroyed instead. But like good moments here. But I think my issues with these two episodes is definitely things are drawn out. Mm-hmm. Things are really extended. Just like the falling out of the sky, and then Luffy bouncing around, and Bonnie's like, I think that's Nika.
Yeah.
The second episode being lesser of the two for sure. It was definitely a cost-cutting one, and just adapting, I think, one chapter for sure. So it's just really spread out, and yeah, sure. I guess it's a hype moment, but I feel like it'll get better in the next episode. It just felt like it took forever for Luffy to get there. And then when Luffy does get there, we cut to Dory and Brogy, which was fun. But even that kind of felt like this is going a little bit longer than it needs to. And then it just ended.
These episodes range from like fine to quite weak. And you can tell that like the reason these episodes aren't the best is because like they're probably working on a episode or two ahead that are going to be like amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So that these are the sacrificial lambs. These are the ones where, they're not trying to wow us at the moment. So instead, they're sort of biding time. And like, that definitely makes the episodes weaker than they could have been. I definitely think that Bonnie's moment of realization and Vegapunk's his quote unquote death right now. Like I think those moments could have been handled in a more compelling way for sure. But it's like even for mediocre episodes, it's like they're kind of like holding themselves together fairly okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, what can you say at that point, right?
Right. Yeah. Like this is no one's favorite episodes, but
this is no one's favorite episode. They're they're clearly putting their energy somewhere else in the arc here.
But it's nice to see Doran Broggie again in the modern anime. Obviously, Dory's voice actor was recast a long time ago, but he sounds a lot like Daisuke Gori.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. I had thought about that during this episode as well. All right, any general thoughts you'd like to share before we move on to the next segment, Steve?
No, that'll be it.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's move on.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, it's time for the Piece Together segment where we take your questions, comments, and theories and answer them before I get illness disease. Alex, what do we start with?
This piece. Yes, this is This Piece. If you're a Patreon member, guess what? We read your stuff that you send us in our Discord. Our first This Piece is Intrusive Thoughts, spelled THOTS, aka Slay. Hey, Slay. Hello, my fellow embezzlers. There's been a lot of hype and discussions lately after that first look at Season 2 of One Piece on Netflix. I'm curious, do any of you have any ideas or hopes for casting of characters who haven't had an actor confirmed for the upcoming season or future seasons? Whether it's a popular fan cast or a more niche one. Thanks and have a great week. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to wait in line for this new bar. Wait in line, probably. Anyway. What do you think?
So it was for a live action, they said?
Yeah. Any
I don't
like
know. I don't know actors like as well, and since I hate to be the fucking Debbie Downey here, but since they film in South Africa, they hire a lot of South African actors, so it's not good. It's not like opening up an old Beckett Dragon Ball Z collector magazine, and it's the most like crazy ass casting of like
Jackie Chan as Goku.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan was going to be Goku.
The guy who played Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat, because we don't know anyone else who's a martial artist. And
I remember that now,
yeah.
Robin Show. Or Wizard Magazine did this all the time, like before there was an X-Men movie. Like, who do you want to play? Who would you cast to play Professor X? The answer was always Patrick Stewart.
It was always Patrick Stewart, yeah.
And it was.
Nobody else can shave their head.
No.
It's impossible.
Especially Steve or Harold. I was going to say, I feel like a better way to ask this question is like the reverse. It's like, who would you want to see blank play if he were in, like, like, I don't know why Keanu Reeves is the first person who popped into my head, but who would you want Keanu Reeves to play in a One Piece season? If you could get him to play anyone. Like, I feel like that's a good, very out of the box, never going to happen cast.
Gabon.
Yeah, somebody
that's
like
a
Gabon.
good one. That is a good one.
Steve hit the nail on the head there about the casting. I mean, when I saw that David Dastmalchian was going to be Mr. 3, I kind of popped because that dude rules.
Yeah.
Kay Segal as Dr. Kreha
Oh, yeah.
is a really great choice too.
Yeah.
And the guy from Election, who's gonna play Hero Look is that's really fun. Like these are actors that I know.
It seems like some key characters are going to be actors from
other things.
like
TV
character,
and stuff.
like I like character actors. Like I want I was really hoping that Alexander Siddig would be Cobra because
Oh yeah, we talked about this.
He also played a very similar character in Game of Thrones. I felt like he was sort of a shoo-in for
Alexander Siddig is great too.
He's really excellent.
Yeah.
I'm like super DS9 pilled, so
Me too.
I'm just like, oh,
Alex and I will be in our.
Can be in the One Piece live action.
The two of us would be in our own.
like J.G. Hertzler, who played Martok, I think would have been an excellent Garp, and now I'm like, well, he could be Whitebeard.
He could be really any like badass old person, which is so many people in One Piece. Like, except for Sengoku, I don't see that.
They got Blackfish, the guy who played Blackfish in Game of Thrones, to play Crocus. So that's kind of interesting. Like, Well,
the biggest one was the narrator who did literally 2 sentences at the top of the first episode.
Ian McShane. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Who could we get Clancy Brown to play?
Ooh, that's a good question.
There you go. I see. Clancy Brown would have been like my ideal Garp. Also, Whitebeard. Like these guys are very similar. Like
I thought,
he's a good Whitebeard.
Timelines aside in age, I'm like, he would have been an awesome smoker
or Crocodile.
Yeah. I'm like, is Rayleigh too laid back for a Clancy Brown? Because when you get Clancy Brown, you want to take advantage of that booming voice.
True.
That's true. What were you about to say, Steven?
I was gonna say, if we're fan casting for season 16 of the live action show, I'll just go ahead and say the joke that I sat on during the manga recap, which is that Harold with his head shaved looks like Jeff Bridges from Iron Man.
Jeff Bridges in One Piece would be excellent.
Rocksteady Zebek built this island in a cave
with a bunch of scraps.
Good question though. I feel like we could talk about that for a long time.
Well, I just want Elbaf to join the world government. I don't understand what the big deal is, man.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Fun question. Thanks, Slay. Ripverse Off Bar says, OPP, I want to be boarded by Shakuyaku. Oops, what I meant to say is, what is Article 18 of World Law? Is it about murdering slavers? Having too much riz? Bringing adorable baby oven and katakuri on your ship like popcorn?
I don't know if we approve of popcorn children around here.
So what I'm going to do? I am going to look up Section 3 of Article 18 of Admiralty Law, which, for those who don't know,
there we go,
is the law of the ocean in the United States. And it says, I'm sure it will be very exciting. I have not read this before, just looking it up. Section 18. I don't know why it's code section. Oh no, this is the wrong section. Section 7. I need to get to Section 3. Whoever, knowing that an offense against the country has been committed, receives, relieves, comforts, or assists the offender, or prevent his apprehension, is an accessory. So he was an accessory to a crime. That's what it was. There's your answer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, books close on that one. Tracker OC says, hi, OPP. I've been really enjoying Ida. I think Oda still needs to work on how he rates women, but I'm pleased to see her when she pops up, and I enjoy what she adds to her scenes. I can see her in Hydrogen, and I find myself upping my expectations of him because of Flashback. Have a good day /night / etc. I agree.
I like Ida a lot.
Yeah, she's great.
All right, you got your homework, Oda. It's been 112 volumes now. Still need to work on that.
Yeah. He's like, well, too bad I'm probably going to murder her in service of Harold's tragic backstory.
But look, everyone. Hot Shakuyaku.
And she's got a new hat.
Yeah.
It's more like, It's it's like you gooners are all like fawning over Shakuyaku, and it's just the same design Oda's always been using for his females.
No.
He's got black hair.
Gooners. It's not a sailboat, it's
Is
a
that-
gooner.
Is that the newest generation? Is that what they're called?
Oh God, Zach, you are so offline.
I was joking. I am, but I was joking.
I mean, it's good that you're offline.
Yeah, I love it.
S-
It's great.
Sailor
I recommend
Karna. Sailor Karna says, "Hey OPP, it's back to school time. What are the Straw Hats' first day outfits? I'm sure that Nami would have an expensive luxury backpack, and Brooke would definitely most have a dress code violation."
Brooks
Frankie
usually
wears a
fairly
Speedo
well
that he's
dressed.
sent home.
You know what? I hate to bring it back to Article 18, but what it actually is, I found it. I don't know how I missed this before.
I've been anticipating.
This is definitely it. It's subparagraph 4 of section 7 is, and I kid you not, any island, rock, or key containing deposits of guano, which may, at the discretion of the president, be considered as appertaining to the United States. So there you go. He stole guano.
Bat guano?
Yeah, like from Ace
Wow.
That's
Ventura
bad
2.
shit.
Yeah, that
yeah.
shit. Or the land of guano.
And
I love the guano.
Guano country, yeah.
Guano country. There's Guano country, Guano country, but you don't want to go to Guano country.
No, you don't. It's where Batman's from.
What's there? People from Wano and Kano.
But it
Yeah.
smells.
They're not as nice.
Yeah.
What other?
Ida fan 351 Cram says, "Ahoy OPP, banger chapter as always. Probably the funniest one without the crew in a while. My question is, do you think world law is related to Trafalgar D water law? That is all."
It's only like 3/4 related to Trafalgar D.
How much
Yeah,
bad
plus-
shit does law have on him? It's the
Plus-
question.
Plus, world law is not even a D. SNP.
World D
SNP
law.
says, "Ahoy OPP, I'm back with another out of left field theory involving Moria." The last one was when I said maybe the shadow fruit is one of 2 devil fruits Rox is looking for. This one, what if the hero's graveyard that Yamato visited here is actually Moria? 1. The hero was born in West Blue but raised in Ringo. 2. Moria was born in West Blue. We don't know where he grew up. We only know he was in Logetown 24 years ago for Roger's death. 3. Moria fought Kaido at Ringo. What if he came back to fight Kaido to protect Ringo, the place he grew up? 4. The body was not found because Moria escaped. I thought Moria was imprisoned by Blackbeard. And then Perona went to go free him.
That's what was implied,
Yeah.
but we never saw where she what happened after she let Kobe free. We don't know what.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at that point, I figured that Kaido's probably he's been big punchied already.
Oh yeah, I mean that it was during Egghead.
Yeah, so sorry SNP, I hate to poke holes in your cool theory, but maybe we'll find out next week who this corpse is or not corpse.
I'm going to say we're not going to find out next week.
Because
Oh,
it's
right.
a chapter next week.
And by next week, I mean 2 weeks from now. Yeah, that's it.
In a fortnight?
There's a fortnight, not to be confused with the game Fortnite. Straw Hat Rigby has our lastest piece of the episode. Hey OPP, hope everyone's had a great weekend. There is a very real chance, very, very real chance that the podcast will reach 1,000 episodes within the next couple of years. Would you plan to do something special for that after you've had your existential crisis, of course? Did you ever think you'd continue on this long when first starting the podcast? Have a great weekend. Well, I think that is mostly a question for you, Zach.
Me?
Well, that last part, anyway.
I'll say no. Why would we do anything special? No, I'm sure we'll think of something. We have it's going to be 2027,
2 years,
I
yeah.
think. Yeah. Because we do around 50 episodes a year, depending on if we take breaks. What was so existential crisis? Already have had many. I will hopefully be beyond the existential crisis phase by then. I mean, you guys think there'll probably still be I think One Piece will still be going in 2027, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
at the
Yeah.
rate this flashback is going, you bet.
Okay, so supposing that, no, I don't think I thought it was going on quite this long. That
wanna
we would go on
know-
quite this long. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. How long ago was it where the word got out was like, or what was said was maybe 5 more years of the manga?
Every year.
The first time was like 2004.
No, like recently, like the recent thing. Was that like
It's like
was that
2
2
years ago.
years ago?
2019?
Or was that
Steve, I have a whole list of this happening.
it? Like no, maybe it was 3 years ago because it coincided with like the with live action news and stuff.
I feel like this question gets brought up like every other year on the podcast, or even like more frequent than that.
Well, I mean, it's a different question because they're talking about us. Like, did I think we would be continuing it this long? Did
Like,
we think One
15
Piece
years
would be
ago?
over in 2025?
I mean,
Like, 15 years ago, I would not think we'd still
No.
be doing this.
yeah.
Like 5 years ago, like, no, I would say like 3 years ago, I'd be like, no, no, this is not shocking at all.
I will tell you.
It's
I will
just-
tell you that when I joined the One Piece podcast, a thought that I never had was, well, sure, this can only go on for so many years. Never had that thought.
No, and I will say
so-
when we started the podcast, one of the reasons I picked One Piece, besides, obviously being into it on several levels, is, well, I'll be able to do that for a really long time if I want to. So I'm like shocked but not surprised, I guess would be my answer.
You're shaku yaku'd. Anyway, that does it for this
Aw.
piece.
Do we have anything on in another island, Stephen?
Yes, at the Sabaudi subreddit archipelago over at reddit.com/r/One Piece podcast. We do have a few questions here. First one from Foodgasm. Hey, OPP, you have probably been asked this question before, but here goes. Who has the best facial hair in the series?
That's a good one. Brown beard.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about it.
No, kidding.
He is an excellent starring member of the Beard family. So
That's right.
Yeah.
I haven't really thought about this too much.
Yeah, me either. I think that Gold Roger's mustache has a lot of merit because it's so like classic, big old. Do you have a Gold Roger figure or something, Steve?
Give me a second. I found this recently when I was throwing out a bunch of boxes for WCFs that I just held on to for so long.
Oh, dope. I guess it's just the two of us, Steven. I will say that. Do you know who is sort of a dark horse in this? Not really dark
What's
horse,
that?
but like a recent character who I just sort of forgot about is Garling.
Yeah.
Garling, yeah. He's got like, the Mac Tonight fucking
Yeah.
facial hair. Like it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's stupid. It's stupid.
It might sound silly because it's a completely ridiculous facial hair, but I also do think you kind of have to give, like, if not give the medal, at least like an honorable mention to Whitebeard himself.
Whitebeard's always my
Yeah, like he has a ridiculous mustache that does not look like a mustache at all. Like it looks like a growth.
His
that
name is
he's
Whitebeard.
Suffering from, and his name is White. We call him Whitebeard in English, even though he does not have a beard. He only has a mustache, which is pretty great. So I don't know. I think that there's an element of absurdity to that really fits with One Piece.
Yeah,
so that might be my answer.
Whitebeard is like I say Garling because it's ridiculous, but yeah, Whitebeard would be my answer too, just because I think it's classic. And
Yeah.
like the first time I saw it, I was like, "Whoa!" Like that was a
Right.
yeah, that was
It's
a real,
iconic.
It is iconic. I think that word gets thrown around too much these days, but that is certainly
peak.
iconic.
I think is what you need to say. No, I think generally One Piece doesn't have, like, a lot of the characters you feel like should have really kick-ass facial hair have really shitty facial hair.
I
That's
found
a
it.
very big generalization, but I did kill time for Steve, so there you go.
What'd you find?
So I guess there was one point in the WCF line where they just include these little wanted posters, I guess, in the
Oh, fun.
boxes. and this one was a Roger, and this is before the de-acidification of Gold Roger. But like, look how hideous he looks.
Oh
And that's
yeah,
like, that's the nose hair,
The nose ropes, yeah.
that's
at the
right.
time. But he's look at him.
I remember.
That's not a handsy man.
No.
Sorry, folks. It's a
No.
podcast. You won't see what I'm talking about here.
Steve could take a picture of it. and
Steve
post it.
basically
classic.
Steve
Classic
basically
Roger.
put up to the camera a tiny little like anime, very clearly anime only wanted poster, before his wanted poster was obviously actually revealed, of Gold Roger, and he's got his shackles on and his mustache is coming out of his nostrils.
Oh my god, I have my answer. How did I not think of this immediately? Chef Zeph.
Oh.
His facial hair.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
actually,
a really good one.
I was literally thinking, like, if we were talking realistic facial hair, I was going to say Mihawk. He's the one who looks like
Yeah.
a fucking model.
I like
Uh,
the big 19th century beards. Like
Yeah.
that's what
Oh,
I
so-
want to see. I
Oh,
can't
so
think
your
of, like-
your answer is Orlumbus.
My answer is always Orlumbus.
Yeah.
What's great is I was trying to look up, One Piece facial hair characters. Let me just Google that because Google's been great. An article, One Piece, Blackbeard's special body explained. Now that's
How about
clickbait.
how about you and I go back to my room and we explain our bodies?
That sounds like it's like it's like the
Yes.
it's like the name.
Yeah, Zach.
You did.
Sorry.
It's like
Sorry,
the front cover article name on a People magazine or something. Blackbeard's special body.
I got the hiccups.
He
Okay.
got his special body. All right,
Blackbeard's got
next
that
we
special
have
body to be explained.
Amiibo Hunter 000 says, "Hey OPP, oh my god, the little 6-year-old Katakuri and Oven were adorable, and I almost missed Daifuku to the left of Gloriosa. Oh wow, so I saw something online talking about how Shaki is the treasure of Full Lead, and the dialogue in chapter 1096 between the Rocks Pirates and the Roger Pirates relates to everyone trying to take Shaki, especially the lines between Whitebeard, Miss Buchan, and Gloriosa. The incident of God Valley was started over a fight for Shaki, One Piece's own Helen of Troy. Thoughts on that theory? Also, Shaki is best girl, so I get it. Love the show, thank you." Yeah, I
am
mean
happy.
that's
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean that's kind of what I was saying in the manga recap for sure.
What was
Yeah,
the first part of that question again? Sorry, because there was something that I forgot.
He's just talking about the seeing Big Mom's kids and stuff.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I do hope that it is, that it's sort of what we talked about earlier, where she goes like with the Roger Pirates willingly or whatever, rather than
Yeah.
she is a damsel in distress.
Same.
For a
Help!
Davy backfight or something. Yeah.
Yeah, why did she not really seek out Rayleigh immediately? I thought that was
help!
I'm a coven shaka-yaka.
I'm gonna get you.
we could have had a Popeye image this week. By
Oh,
the way, Steve, I'm shocked you didn't draw.
My spinach.
Still going? No, it's fine. It is great. It is great. Steve, I was surprised you didn't draw the Charlie Brown kids. I know you've done Charlie
that
Brown
would've
once
been
at least
great.
I
twice.
love the Charlie Brown kids.
You've done. I've been watching them, and yeah.
There's an Apple TV show.
Yeah, it's Snoopy show. It looks nice.
Mm.
It's
I
fine.
saw a clip. It looked like really. I was like, whoa, 2D.
Yeah, I just appreciate any 2D we could watch. And I got it
Mhm.
back on Frog and Toad, and that's what's important. Full circle moment. What's next?
Last one on Reddit is from 23 Years Virgin, who is at least 28 years virgin by now, if I'm recalling correctly.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's like us talking about like the passage of time,
Which I should mention.
Wait, so how many?
I do want to say, Steve, the one comment I was consistently getting across all platforms for the episode 2 weeks ago was, Zach, that's not how many years it's been since in the flashback. It's this many. And to that I say, math. Come on. That's not why we're here. We're here for found family
it's like,
and
I'm like,
emotions.
Okay, Wiki penis.
So, Steven, what does 28 years virgin have to
Yes,
say?
what is 28
It's
years?
a Hey Overpower podcast. Seeing that there are crushes by Rox and Roger towards Shakuyaku, it humanizes them a little bit, and that to me improves a character. We've gone from seeing these characters from faceless and little information about them to them understanding the birds and the bees. And that got me thinking about a question. What do you think Roger and Rox's favorite color is? For me, Roger is Mexican pink because of his shirt in the Oden flashback, and Rox transparent because of his shirt he is wearing in this flashback. Cheers and keep up the good work.
I didn't know there was a Mexican pink.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. I had to Google this while you guys were talking, and yeah, apparently it's like a dark magenta pink. So, and he does have that kind of color, right? In the
Pink. How bizarre.
Ace is burnt sienna.
ouch. Yeah,
Rox, I'm really curious what his whole color scheme is going to be.
Yeah, me too.
yeah. What his hair colors are.
And I can't wait for the anime to reveal he's as white as a ghost.
Oh, he definitely is.
Oh yeah.
He definitely is the same color as everyone else. Steve, what color would you draw him as?
Rox, like
Yeah.
what color?
Like what hair
Blue.
colors?
You're gonna have to make this decision sooner or later.
It's
so you
gonna
might as well make
happen,
it now.
so we might as well
No,
do it
I
on
have my
air.
workarounds.
Yes, you must fall on the saber of Zebek.
I'll write it
I
down.
don't know,
even
like,
though-
That's
the boring,
suggestive,
safe answer
yeah.
is great. It's so funny. I was talking with our friend Josh because he just sent me a picture of Daddy the father, and I was just like,
Of course he did.
I'm like, this
Isn't that what he calls Zoro?
I hear
I'm-
Josh giving us shit right now. Somehow.
No, but I got reminded of an era. It's like, oh yeah, you could really spot a One Piece filler character because they just leaned really heavily on like grays and teals.
Yeah.
And then like Oda's is like, what if he wore orange?
Wow, Oda's
So,
voice is different than I
with
thought.
like with Rox, I could see the hair being kind of gray, like it was like a Don King kind of like.
That's funny.
I feel like red has been
Wow.
done so much because you have like Shanks, you have Kid.
Yeah.
Blue.
That
would
doesn't
be
mean it won't
interesting.
be.
Yeah.
If
I
it's
mean,
blue, then that theory that he's Buggy's father are really gonna
Oh,
fucking.
Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's a
People
That
are like,
would
"Hey, just
really
put the red
piss me
nose on
off.
him."
That would
If he's Buggy's
really piss me
father.
off.
Why
I
does
know.
it
I know the
If
Buggy
Buggy and
people out
Blackbeard
there.
are brothers.
Listen
so
to the
stupid.
SGS with Steven and Greg hear about that. I mean, Greg kind of like fantasy booked it where it's like, yeah, it could be fun, but like it's not necessary.
It's too
It's-
much. I don't want Buggy to be anyone important. He needs to suck.
I don't think that it's. I don't think it that Blackbeard needs to be Rox's son.
No, I agree with that too.
Although I
I-
think
yeah.
there's merit for that, like that maybe he's a clone of Rox's DNA or whatever.
Well, this actually did remind me. So
And he
we
escaped
talked
from the
about we talked about the timing. Ken was nice enough from our friend of the show.
Ken was nice. What?
No, he was nice too.
Shocker.
He put together like a chronology
Ken's one
for
of the
me.
nicest
So yes, he is. I know. So I would actually know what happened, and it like occurred to me. Okay, we're leading up now to Blackbeard's birth, which was 40 years ago, and it kind of feels. And God Valley was I could check this 38 years ago. So that is when Rox is defeated. I don't know, things seem a little bit too on the nose, so to speak. With we're setting up something with Blackbeard here is where I'm going with that.
Mhm.
It was a little weird that it was introduced that way. I mean, we would have all known immediately that he was Blackbeard's dad because he is an identical twin.
I mean, yeah, he didn't
but-
have to draw him the exact same way. That's all.
No, yeah, I agree with that sentiment. And I know that there's divergent opinions on that, but I personally think the OG and the OG here being the younger one looks cooler. That is to say, we all know already we're 42 years ago right now. But there you go. Steven. I don't know
I
what's
think
happening.
gold. I think Roger's favorite color is gold.
That's
Yeah.
stupid. Why would you say something so stupid?
No, he's like Goldmember. He loves gold.
Yes, he does.
So you're going to tell me next that Silver's Rayleigh like silver and that Scopper
Scopper's
Gabon
Gabon like Scopper.
Damn it, you stole my joke.
And Nisekoi from Nisekoi?
Nisekoi's favorite color is Nisekoi? The joke is just more and more irrelevant. What's the next question?
Yeah, where are we at?
That's all for Reddit.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't even look at Blue Sky. I should have.
Blue Skypea?
Yeah, let's see if we actually have anything or not. This week we have so many. Hey, here's one. From Josh, not our Josh, but the one with the question mark, who says, "Hey OPP, how it be? How would you design a One Piece themed pinball machine?"
Oh wow.
Man, this is a big question and a fun one at that.
Like Luffy themed rubber band bumpers, something like if you had a big one,
like Gum Gum Balloon or something.
I think you mean Nika rubber bands, right?
Ooh. Or what if the whole thing was basically just like Rubber Band Land from like Skypea and Amazon? It's Amazon themed.
Yeah,
and she's just like giving like a thumbs up,
perfect,
like on the art. And
if
it's
you get
literally
the
just...
if you get the multi-ball, it's like 3-ball style. That would be.
I like that a lot.
Oh my god,
there would have to be like a Going Merry model, right? Or
that gets
1,000
destroyed.
Sunny. Or no, that'd be fucked up. Yeah, no, like 1,000 or 1,000 Sunny, right? That you have to like kind of go up in and like, or you go in the soldier docking system.
Or
and,
the knock-up stream. You could do a whole Skypea
that's what I was going to
one.
say. Like the top of the board is a little mini Skypea.
Or it could literally
really
pop
cool.
out of the pinball machine.
The problem with a One Piece pinball machine is that you would need a different pinball machine for every arc.
Each arc, that's it. And then how do you define arcs? We would have to talk about that for 50 minutes each.
The longest debate ever.
And it wasn't even on the podcast.
I know. And I was so fucking sick of it immediately because we've done it 30 times. And I'm wrong, okay? The arcs we did in Arcs of Consequence, I'm sure are just not right anymore. Like, there's no perfect answer to that. That's the answer to that, and we're done. That's the last question.
The only difference at that time was Wano, I think, was still going.
Well,
it ended.
When wasn't it going? You know, like, doesn't it feel like it's still going? Like, doesn't it feel like that's still the current arc?
Actually, kind of.
Yeah, but would it surprise you to hear that it ended more than 3 years ago?
Oh my god,
that would be pretty sick. Well, like, what would you do if, like, 2 weeks from now, he just ends the chapter like end of Act 4 of Wano?
Oh, he is doing the kabuki thing.
I was finally we're gonna get 4, 5, and 6.
The raid finally failed.
That would be legitimately hilarious.
That would, Oda doing something like that. Like, he's a funny guy. He is like a very good. People were mentioning, although I guess it's an anime only joke,
I
but
my fucking mind.
People mentioned like in OPLA that they want to see the Crocus joke from the anime. That I'm
That's
sure
not
you all
gonna
know.
happen.
It's not going to happen. But I will
breaking
say
the fourth wall thing.
That was like the first moment in One Piece like I really cracked up at like out loud. And there are those moments which I think is rare in a shonen manga.
They'll do it in the live action, and Zoro will be like, "That's not that funny."
Let me cut someone's head off.
That's not funny at all. Because
Buggy balls. I feel like the live action Zoro is very, very close to the 4Kids one.
Yeah, you
attitude.
said that before. God, that takes
That's
me back
not
to that
false.
Buggy,
and by that I mean
balls.
it's true. Listen to Forced to Watch 4Kids on Patreon. Please, though, it's a great series.
Please listen to our podcast that we spent years recording. Oh, please.
Okay.
Are we done?
We're done. That's it for Piece Together. That's round off. This has been the One Piece Podcast, episode 881 for August 18th. Thank you all so much for coming on the show. Dr. Gomez, where can people find you?
Hi, so for this next weekend, I'm going to be at Anime New York. I have an academic panel from fandom to faculty on Friday. I'm very excited to share more about research and pedagogical applications of anime studies into the classroom and just talk about One Piece like crazy. So if you have nothing to do when I go to this con, come see our panel. And I'll also be around for the next couple of days on office hours as a faculty member, just talking about anime to anyone who's interested. So thank you.
What we all do, we talk about anime to anyone who's interested. Steven, where can people find you?
I'm over on Blue Sky at stephenpaul.bsky.social. And I'm just keeping up with One Piece, and of course Akane Banashi, which had a big fun front cover of Jump this week, and a big chapter celebrating the anime announcement. Hey, just as a bonus for me, if you didn't already, you should also read Roboco and Me this week, because they did a big Akane spoof as well. So that's cool. You've made it when Roboco is spoofing you. So
Sure.
Yeah, that's cool.
Especially on the cover image. Very excited that I think you were coyly saying an anime may happen, and I think the episode came out after.
People were talking about it because they know to look for like certain accounts that are being made, like social media accounts and like website registrations and stuff like that. So apparently they were finding stuff like that, little breadcrumbs. So
I think they were pretty big breadcrumbs for this one, because I saw those rumors out there like a couple days before. But that's very good news. I'm very excited.
Yeah, very cool.
Alex, where can people find you?
Find me at dude!!.bski or whatever on Blue Sky. That's where I'm at. I would also like to plug something. Super Art Fight, the thing that I've been doing for a while. We have a Kickstarter. It's already fully backed, but if you back it, then you can get a copy of the second edition of our home game, Cute Animals on Ice. I did a couple pieces of art for the game itself. I've got some card art in there, and it's a really fun game. It's super fun. If you back it on Kickstarter, there's some fun extras that you can get too. So go to Kickstarter and search for Cute Animals on Ice. Got 15 days to go, so you have until then. I also wanted to plug the city that I currently live. Oh well, I don't live in DC right now. I live in the burbs, but I would like to plug the city of Washington, D.C. Because it's now being the National Guard's been deployed, and people might think it's a crime zone or whatever, and it's like really awful. I am here to tell people that it's not. I was in the city this weekend. The most that it's done is really just make traffic really super shitty, and a bunch of people they're just arresting randos just to make a dog and pony show of the whole thing. So I want to just let people know that nothing terrible is happening here other than the National Guard being here and being dicks. So that's it. Like the videos that you'll see of National Guard marching are in very affluent areas where crime really doesn't happen. So it's a dog and pony show.
Yeah,
so you'll know.
Someone who lived in DC for like 7 years, or DC and the suburbs, it's awful to see that they're fucking up a very good city, right? That was doing perfectly fine. And in Georgetown.
I think they also
West End, right? Isn't
yeah? I mean they went up.
They at DuPont
14th
Circle
Street
next. They're gonna.
I don't. It's really dumb.
The most affluent areas, DC.
Yeah, I think they're just arresting people just based on suspicion, racism.
Yes.
So so it's super fucking shitty. I just people should just know that it's not as bad as the media is making it out to be, or whatever media outlet that you listen to. It's
well, we started the show back in DC, so like obviously like that's like our home turf. So don't mess with the OPPs.
Yeah. Anyway, I wanted to use my time on the mic to
No.
let people out
I
there know.
appreciate that. Yeah. Alex, it's also just great to hear your voice and have you on the show again. And to hear your voices. But yeah. Steve, where can people find you?
You could find me on social media. Steve Yurko is the username most places. Website, steveyurko.com. And you can find me tabling at Anime NYC this coming weekend in NYC. Vera will also be tabling with me there. Please come through. Come say hi. Spend your money. Spend your money on the Stever.
Please do. Everyone should be spending their money on Steve.
I love to see you guys. Appreciate you coming by the table.
But give him money.
Knock a buck to the Stever.
Just throw paper airplanes of dollars at him.
No,
do that.
Just put it in my hand.
It seems too simple.
I
Throw your credit cards at him.
I also take Apple Pay.
I promise I'll stop by, Steve.
Yeah, please. Yeah, looking forward to seeing you. Yeah. Other than that, that's it. Oh yeah, and listen to me on Proceed Plays Games, and yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I told you offline that I did very much enjoy Night in the Woods. Like, I do enjoy that I'm never playing certain video games and I could experience them through the two of you.
We're adults. We don't have that.
I know.
We don't have that kind of luxury anymore.
Yeah, I know.
We kind of have to let it go and realize like there's some games we're just gonna experience through a Let's Play.
Yeah. You know what?
And that's okay.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
And if there's a game that you don't have the time for, watch our channel.
Or send them.
That's why people.
You have to send you
like,
the game.
Oh, I got to play Ace Attorney. And I'm like, or you can watch our Ace Attorney.
That's
playthrough.
basically what I did. And I took notes as to all the special violations that were included in each of the Article 18s. You can follow us at onepiecepodcast.com or patreon.com/onepiecepodcast. As we mentioned, you could get the Triforks sticker if you're a part of the Sticker of the Month crew. And every month, if you join now at the $12 a month tier, not only do you get a sticker as part of your sign up thing, but you also get to vote on the sticker of each month. You also get all the things that you get up to the $10 tier, which includes alternate art, alternate images, extended cuts of this podcast, including us deciding on the images, and us saying things that are very interesting, I'm sure. The entire Forced to Watch 4Kids series and a lot more. Again, all at onepiecepodcast.com and patreon.com/onepiecepodcast. So there's no chapter next week. We may just take the week off, which is a weird thing that we've only done every so often, but we'll let you know. Maybe we'll have something fun for you. I don't know. We'll see. I have no idea. It's one of those weeks. Since I learned on air that we're off next week.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But we'll get back to you on that. We have a lot of really great guests coming up over the next few months, though. I'm not going to spoil. A lot of returning guests as well. So keep an ear to the ground or subscribe to our Patreon. That's the best way to keep an ear to the ground. But until next time, my name is Zach.
My name is Steve.
And my name is Alex.
We'll see you next time, everyone. Goodbye.